Hello, everyone, maybe, possibly, and welcome to Quest of Chaos. We are the Chaos Agents, and tonight we are having BS1.
We are not playing D&D.
Nope.
Yes.
That is the ASL for bullshit.
I don't believe you.
No, it's true.
Really?
Is it?
I don't know if anybody actually could see it. There it is. It's up.
Oh yeah,
up
this
high.
is asshole. Okay.
Oh, that's asshole.
I hope that
It's
becomes
like-
a new thing.
the horns and anyway.
Yeah.
Look it up. Look it up. Welcome, people. We're gonna be taking your questions. We're gonna be reading chat. We're going to be trying interacting with you as much as we possibly can.
Interacting with the chat? What is this sorcery, sir?
Should this stream be genred under just chatting?
It should, but it's not gonna be.
Okay. I won't report you.
We still, if people drop in, they still
It's a
see
D&D show. We're talking about D&D.
exactly.
I have a book
MC,
somewhere.
Matt Colville, when he does his I'm streaming me, designing my next $1 million Kickstarter. He, streams under D&D.
There you
Yeah,
Huh.
competition's a lot more stiff under just chatting.
I like Tamago Torres in the chat there. He says questions in chaos.
go. There we go.
No.
Here's questions in
It's with a
chaos.
C.
This is where we could use a producer to really be funneling things to us, but we're just gonna play it by ear. So we did
Thomas.
last night. Trigger the boy again.
Yo.
The
Sweet.
box of inspiration, and yeah. So tonight we're gonna have a Gale Force 9 giveaway. Dungeons and Dragons, totally related. We'll do that at some point tonight. Thank you guys so much for your donations last night for getting the players through not the tower.
I don't
Welcome to the
understand.
Dungeon Master seat.
I really don't understand how James ever thought that we would get to the tower, because he had 3 other things planned in case we went in different directions. He and I were talking about it afterwards, and I was
Yeah,
just like, tower?
From what I understand, you weren't going to get to the tower.
Okay.
I was like, do you need maps?
Either
for
way.
He's like, no. Well, it's
Yeah.
called the tower. Anyway, so we're gonna do
They'll
that.
figure
So
it out.
we have a blank slate in the box of inspiration. It's the second time I've said that. So we're gonna start off with some bits. After this message from Gordon Bear.
Are we
Ooh.
rolling for advantage with these? What are we doing with these?
These bits are probably just gonna go straight into the boy.
Sure.
And we'll
Um,
punch the boy anytime they get bits.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking on my feet.
Yeah,
Every donation gets an honest AMA
Oh
response.
no.
I was going to say, Aaron, there's Ruckus right there.
So we're gonna start
am I
off
doing?
with that's 2, 4, 6. I can't do math. 8, 9
Wow.
bits from the Hefner.
Just the half?
Hefner.
Man,
Boy.
thank you so much.
Wow, Hef.
Wow.
Wow.
This is just
You
there's so much stuff going on right into. Oh, there's already some in here.
Dig him out. Dig him out.
This was a prop today on a meeting that I had. Those are going straight into the boy. Then we have 500 bits from Squeal the Bard
Ah, squeal. What's up, G?
Thank you.
into the boy, and then Tamago Toro for the chaos. I don't know if he knows we were just doing talk show.
We get chaotic civilly in
Chaotic
conversation.
anyway. It doesn't matter.
3,000 bits.
Nom, 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 nom.
He knew. He knew.
This is what happened in the business meeting, isn't it? And
It
it
is.
worked, didn't it?
This was the prop.
Before we came on, we were talking about Ruckus dying in the water to the shark, and his
Oh,
attempt.
how it was completely avoidable?
Yes.
That too,
Right.
but how he
Separate.
would have, if he would have succeeded in hitting the boulder, he would have probably exploded.
Yeah.
And not
What if
been
I rolled a
devoured
nat
by a
20?
shark.
Like, what if I rolled that nat 20 and somehow
you
could
would've
Glad it
withstand the
even
boulder?
harder.
Yeah, but withstand the boulder.
You would have nat 20'd your body into the boulder.
Shield would not have helped with that.
Twice the damage.
Oh.
You would have landed feet first with spider climbing. I don't fucking
So shield does not help with that at all if you read the mechanics of it. So
I do. I'm seeing what Thomas remembers.
I remember Gordon Biersch.
Smooth.
Do we?
500 bits from Duke League for
Thank
what
you,
the heck.
Grace.
Thank you.
That's probably the name of the show. What the heck?
All right. So if you guys are going to ask a question, if you guys have channel points, you can highlight it or highlight at Quest and Chaos, and then maybe it'll help us see it a little bit easier.
I got a question for you, Thomas.
Yeah.
I think I know.
Yeah. Why did Kumara tell Remy not to use darkness on Ruckus?
Ooh.
Your life depends on this answer.
So the same reason that Kumara did not tell you to kill Andraste last session. You guys are a team that needs to be protected until you can fulfill your destiny.
How very Odin-esque. Like a saga.
Afterwards.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
afterwards. You're done, thanks.
Find him as much as you want.
Honestly, afterwards, Andras is probably going to disappear into the forest because after dealing with gods and devils and demons and all that.
You know, and we just had that conversation, didn't we? Kind of from a Remy point of view in the last episode, where it was like, what do we do after this? Like after we fought these people, how do you go back to normal?
And that was very much where that conversation I thought was very interesting because it was the two people whose arcs are resolved. It was Remy and Andraste, and both of them going, so what do we do now that we've done the thing that we set out to do? I mean, we're here to help our friends because, you know, Ruckus needs his revenge and Uzo needs his patron freed. See how that goes.
Oof.
Andraste has qualms on that subject.
Yes. Tiana, can you raise your volume up on your microphone a little bit?
Can do.
There's a setting in there. A question came in from Andrea the Burps. Exclamation point birds.
The burps.
In the chat. There are dice ready to be shipped, I believe.
Yes.
Arizona themed dice ready to be shipped. The Birds of Paradise are coming.
Yes, and I'm getting a box on the way with some proper birds concept dice.
Nice.
That will eventually make their way to the studio, but I'm going to keep them for a while.
Nice. I had anyway, so she wants to know how the 3D printing is going. And I will say it is going very well. With any 3D printing, there is a lot of maintenance to do. And one printer was down for 2 months just because it was like, where do I find the time to troubleshoot and figure out what's happening? The other two were going great. Right now, all three of them are working. I'm printing out cobblestone, big giant things of cobblestone for cities and markets and things.
Can't imagine why we'd need a sitting.
Yes, I also printed out a couple of things for Kelly. So
yeah, so I don't know if you heard yesterday what she told Amy to tell you, but thank you very much for that. It made a huge difference. For those who don't know, he printed out a couple of the headbands that keep the masks off of the ears and bind it back here because of her wearing her PPE all day at work. The mask was cutting into her.
Shit.
So it made such a big difference the very next day to not have to deal with that on top of, you know, being in the midst of COVID, working at a vet clinic that's running on like 1/5 of its personnel. So
nice. I have continued to print more, and I need to drop those off for her coworkers too at some point.
That's amazing. Seriously, thank you. Yeah.
So the 3D printers they're printing things for us, and also printing. You know, there are other people that took all of their 3D printers and just said, "I am making these for," and you know, everybody. You know, making face shield parts to. I mean, the community is really pretty insane.
And amazing.
Some people, what was it, the ventilator add-on that was like a choke point people made for it? Yeah, like some sort of like filter pass-through. This is why I hate. We're not gonna get politics, but like they made it at like a 1/50th of the price that that they charge the hospitals for it.
Yeah.
Like some ridiculous fraction of the price. It's like, and I think that's why they got stopped.
Yeah. Again, also not everything is going to be medical quality on a 3D printer. It just isn't. PLA is not medical quality. For sure. You have to be using more robust plastics, not
because it has to go through the sterilizing process, and there's no way those plastics would make it.
Yep. So I heard in the UK there was a guy that was turning his injection molding system over into doing the face shield part. And he was poo-pooing 3D printers, like the hobby group, being like, why are you guys even bothering? It's going to take you what? You can print 3 a day. I can do 1,000 in it. Once I get up and running and tooled, I can do 1,000 in a day. And the response was, we did 43,000 over the weekend as a group collectively.
Yeah.
And you are still running, and you're still running to catch up with us because you haven't gotten that tool yet. Sure, once you get there, fine. But for now, people need this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that sort of mentality. I don't know.
I mean, it's elitist bullshit.
Yeah.
And elitist, yeah.
This is my play space. Fuck off.
So anyway, we talk a little bit about 3D printing and what we do here on the channel on our Untitled podcast, episode 3, I believe, which is on YouTube and podcast.
I'm going to take that as a yes, Warren.
Awesome. What was that?
The Baroness asked if you guys got your masks.
We certainly did. Thank you. Amazing. Mine has a TARDIS on it.
I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I've got a bunch of patches that I want to put on it. Yeah.
I got to know, do you watch Doctor Who?
No.
Great. That's awesome. That makes it even better.
It's appropriately geeky though.
Yeah.
Without being able to get like D&D fabric or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's awesome. All right.
It is great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Baroness.
Here is the next non-question from Carol Wolf. That's with a K and two R's and an EL. You need to be the team that burns everything down and laughs about it. I don't think that's a question. I think that's a statement.
Go on.
We have a light cleric on the team. She doesn't necessarily laugh about having to set shit on fire, but she does set things on fire.
I think every group, every show is the group that sets things on fire and laughs about it.
Humans are just terrible people at their core.
True.
Very true.
But this is how we get it out.
Than,
Oh, Warren, you're backwards again.
So how have you guys been staying busy in quarantine? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Work. In VR, and then gaming.
Breaking quarantine for work. And yeah, I could. Is it an unhealthy amount of gaming?
No.
That's subjective.
I may have you.
Whatever you need to do to cope, please.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it helps.
Seriously.
Do it. As long as it makes you feel good and it doesn't feel like an obligation, do it. The old world is dead. Like these are new paradigms now.
The old world
somewhat
is dead.
comforting.
Long live the world.
What was it? Valhalla. Fury Road.
Basically. I've been doing a lot of audiobook work. I finished an audiobook today and turned it in. I've got like 3 more on the docket that I need to work on, but there are definitely days where I'm like, I can do nothing. I'm going to burrito on the couch and watch YouTube and possibly get high.
No.
I got burrito on the couch is my typical lunch, actually.
I meant wrap myself in a blanket burrito, but also I go for a burrito right now.
I've had too many burritos, so I'll say that.
Fair.
I disagree with that statement, and I don't need to know how many burritos you've actually had, but I disagree with that statement. No one can have too many burritos.
It's the number in a row that gets it's the lunch and dinner for 3 or 4 days in a row. That is like that's too much burrito.
Well, but that wasn't uncommon it wasn't uncommon even before COVID-19. I remember days at the studio where I'd be in at like noon and we'd have Wendy's for lunch and Wendy's for dinner for 3 days running.
I am very concerned about the amount of coffee I'm consuming.
So much.
I am consuming the exact same amount of coffee. 1 pot every day.
Holy
That's it?
shit.
I believe
That's
Yeah.
it? A whole pot? Are you
12
kidding?
Well,
12 cups?
so Amy drinks 2 cups out of the 12, so I 10 cups every day.
That's insanity.
Oh, okay. When you say pot, I'm thinking 3 or 4. Okay, 12. That's about right. Yeah.
How
Well,
are
but
you
the-
alive?
That's how.
But if you look at your average coffee pot, right, and you pour into like one of the Quest and Chaos mugs, for example, it's not 1 cup. It's like 2.
yeah.
2
So,
or 3.
like,
Yeah.
You're drinking like
Yeah.
5 cups a day. I drink about 3 cups of tea a day. That's pretty normal.
Yeah, I definitely stop by noon though.
You do
with-
not.
with
I'm gonna
It did
have
not take
one
long.
after this.
a little
stream.
bit later.
It was like a second, and then.
So Kelly and I, we got a French press for Christmas, and we were like, okay, yeah, let's go out and let's get some coffee to use this. We had never done it before. By the way, it's amazing. French presses are amazing. We went out and got some ground coffee, but unfortunately, somebody had put the unground coffee, so the coffee beans, on the same shelf as that one in it. So I just grabbed 2. One was beans and one was pre-ground. We found this out and promptly got this like hand crank grinder
You got a
from
hand
this
crank
Japanese hand crank grinder.
Snooty as fuck.
God.
Turns out that thing is the same grinder that is in Animal Crossing. Anyhow, it's weird. Yeah. We got it. We pulled it out, and then the same day, Kelly was like, "Look at this grinder I got on Animal Crossing. It's exactly the same. The exact
You
same."
should start now that you have that mixing the grounds, like doing
Yeah?
your little chemist thing. Yeah, I
Well,
mean you could
we're
do that
thinking
with
about it.
the grounds of mixing your beans, but yeah, I don't
A little bit of Kona, like macadamia nut mixed in.
know. Yeah.
Ooh.
I can tell you that the freshly ground coffee is better than the pre-ground stuff. 100%, absolutely makes a difference. Yeah,
That sounds like a lot of work.
it is. It is. It's a
Well,
lot, but I got to
a
exercise somehow during
A French
COVID.
press is totally unnecessary, but like I have a French press, and I feel like I'm doing something.
It's like Phil's
What?
coffee. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
just that's no. I don't need a hand pour of everything. Just put a coffee pot on. I just need a pot of coffee.
They would save so much time if they just like let it drip continuously, but the fact that they have to pour it into the filters while I'm there staring at it, I'm just like, because I've done that before, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is gonna take forever. This fucking sucks. I want the coffee now.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So speaking of Animal Crossing, though, the chat has diverted into Bo in Animal Crossing, because apparently there's a villager or a person who can come visit your island named Bo, and a lot of them have given him like the hat that our Bo wears.
Oh, that guy, the cap. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's hilarious. Thank you.
Winter Nightingale, I'll call out specifically, gave him the hat that you wear.
That's amazing.
I am not playing Animal Crossing. I refuse, just like some people refuse to watch Tiger King.
I'm
just
not
won't-
watching Tiger King.
I won't.
not
I
watching
tried.
Tiger King.
I actually I bought it and I was like, hey Kelly, this is gonna be great for us to play together. And she was like, yeah, I'm not really into it. She tried it and I haven't really played it since. It's always like she's
It's a
done
grind
great
fest.
things with the island of Malard. She's done great things with it. Yeah, she's Garb Malarg and I'm Blarg Malarg.
That's
Awesome.
I don't have a Switch, or I'd probably be playing.
I would
I do not
re-edit.
have any modern. I do not have any modern console. The most recent console that I have is a reverse compatible PlayStation 3. I love
PlayStation
it,
works.
3 has some
It
but I
classics.
don't have.
Mhm.
I don't have anything modern, man.
Literally on
I
like
looked up
2 weeks ago, PlayStation Store offered out what is it? Shadow of the Colossus. That one's iconic. That one's
Ooh.
classic. And that's
It
The
is, yeah.
last PlayStation 3 game I played was Catherine. It was fucking amazing.
They're still releasing that one too. That's
Dude.
awesome.
They just did a re-release, Catherine Full Body with a third Catherine.
Oh yeah, with a Q.
That's
Just
all
like us, they
Basically.
get their phrasing from us.
Well, and they're the same company that does the Persona game, so they have a bunch of the
The characters, the style looks the same. Yeah.
Well, it's not just the characters and the style look the same, but also they have costumes from Persona 5 that you can put on Catherine character, and vice versa in Persona 5 Dance. I know a little bit too much about Atlas. What do you want to know?
Funny.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's a very interesting puzzler game for sure.
My friend Jeannie will sit there playing it and swearing it and going, "Stupid sheep."
Yeah. I like games like that tell you how other people have played or that give you some sort of feedback. For instance, Beyond Human Detroit on the PlayStation 4, when you get to the end of a chapter, it shows you like a decision tree, and it'll show Become Human Beyond. No,
Detroit Become Human.
Become Human.
Beyond Two Souls was the game before that that they put out. Quantic Dream.
They have Beyond Two Souls was theirs.
Yeah,
Mike
yeah.
drop.
It went Heavy
wasn't
Rain,
Heaven
Beyond Two
Rain?
Souls. Heavy
Oh,
Rain was
okay.
their first. Yeah.
Okay.
Coolest. He's the coolest gamer you'll ever.
It would
find.
just show you like where other people stopped and where other people made their decisions and like how they did it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Persona 5 does that too. If you're connected to the Thief's Network, they'll tell you what other people did on certain days, which I think is really cool to see how people broke it down. Because, yeah, I could talk about Persona 5 for ages, but one of the things is that if you want to get all of the confidants maxed out, you have to follow a schedule in order to get it all in time. And seeing what other people did helped guide me on that.
Apparently, Telltale Games does that too. Panthrop is watching this on PlayStation 4. Shout out PS4.
Hi, Panthrop.
I haven't turned on my
Telltale's still in
PlayStation.
business?
Huh?
I don't think Telltale's still in business. I think
Not
they shut
really.
down.
Well,
We've been. Oh, go on.
No, I was gonna say I haven't turned on my PlayStation since I got my Stadia. Plug.
There it is. There it is.
Kids.
What company makes Stadia?
It's good. Oh, Google, the best company in the world. Yeah.
All right. Here's a good question for you guys. Which do you prefer, Millie or Vanilli?
Is Millie the blue one?
Authenticity is very important to me, so neither of them.
I don't know what the question is.
Yeah. So that was a question that was awesome in 1993. All right.
Millie's
okay.
a thought.
Okay, when I was 6 years old. Okay.
They were this pop group that got caught lip syncing, like they weren't the singers. They could not sing without the track, and it started skipping on one of their concerts, and it ruined them completely.
I think it was.
I think one of them actually, one of them eventually committed suicide over it.
Yeah,
like it's
terrible.
Yeah, upsetting.
Which is now standard practice.
Yes.
Committing suicide is standard practice?
By
That
actors.
too, but the performers, Britney Spears basically like covers her mouth when she loses track of her own song on stage. Yeah. Like it's like, unfortunately they were the first to do it, but like, and then other people were like, oh, if we've got choreography, like we could totally fake this.
But they weren't even the singers.
They weren't the singers on the album.
That's true. That's true.
Say okay.
It was all a cash grab.
Did you say Millie and Nilly or Millie Vanilli?
Millie Vanilli.
Okay, cool. All right, I googled the wrong thing.
Anyway, all right. How do you? What is this? This is Tamago Tora. What do you think your player characters would be like if they hadn't met the other players?
Dead.
So,
murder hobo.
Do we want to take this in some order to answer that?
Yeah. So we'll go.
Everyone go at once.
In order of the screen. So Uzo is top left on your screen. Uzo had actually just gotten his not really magic sight, but he had Dendar had given him some powers.
I assume the powers came at the expectation that the path meant he would be meeting these people. So I don't know if he would have his sight or he wouldn't have his sight. But Uzo would probably still be low-key vigilantism inside Waterdeep. Maybe he runs in with the law or gets caught up in something crazy, but for the most part, he's looking out for people who have nothing. So I don't know what kind of things he would get into. He's not stealing from. Well, I mean, he's stealing from well-to-do people, the odd pickpocket here and there. But there would be a lot more vagrants on the street as a result of no orphanage. So I feel like herding those cats and sort of making sure they're taken care of is where he would be. Probably contributing to a decent amount of unsolved murders in Waterdeep for sure. Yeah.
Hopefully unsolved.
Hopefully unsolved. Yeah.
All right. Remy the Fox.
What would Remy be doing? I mean, I don't think he would have left Waterdeep at all. He definitely would not have been able to afford his own ship. He'd still be scrounging around bounty hunting, looking over his shoulder all the time. People who want to take him out. And maybe someday they do. Like, I think he may be dead if he hadn't met everyone, just because he had a price on his head. So
I wonder if Remy and Uzo would have met in a different timeline as passersby in a market or something.
They probably did at some point.
Probably,
and you guys just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They definitely hung out.
The first thing that Remy says to him, and he says, "I could smell you coming. You need to bathe more often." Thanks, Uzo. First thing he says.
For Andraste, she had already been living for the last 5 years as a cleric in hiding, a hermit type of person. So she probably would have stayed at exactly the same level of power that she was and just continue living off the land, kind of a little bit feral. Because I mean, she still doesn't like cities, but she can put up with them now. Prior to meeting this group, she had no reason to put up with them, so she didn't, unless she absolutely had to. So she'd probably still be a bit feral. She might have gotten to the point of healing where she would find other people to mother, to be the mom Droste too. But it wouldn't have turned out like this, and it might have ended up in death. Who knows?
Aaron.
Yes. I got the hint.
What was? I mean, go ahead. Let's answer this first, and then we'll figure out what Ruckus was even doing in that tavern.
We'll get to the
He just sits down. He's like, "You want to eat? I'll eat."
No, I didn't even ask him. He came over, sat down next to me, and said, "You gonna eat all that?"
Man of mystery. Nobody asked.
No.
That's his pickup line. That's his opening line.
I want to
for
say
food. He was hungry.
Yeah, I steal it. I want to say I got like Ruckus to a level of impatience that without a crew that had different goals in mind, I think he would have been too early to rush to his goals. I'm trying to remember what was the first thing we interacted with. Was it one of the cult members or was it like a demon?
It was the thing that came out of the tavern floor, the well.
No, I mean like from my past. Like
I think it was Harabas.
Yeah, Harabas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. That would have kept the head. That's in every timeline.
Would you have gotten the head?
You could have gotten
Would
him.
you have gotten it?
Exactly. Assuming you could have actually killed him without us.
I landed the killing blow.
You did, but the rest of us were there to help, man. On a one-on-one.
They would have found you eventually, and they probably would have lopped your head off.
Do you know how many enemies I have softened up for you to get a killing blow?
But I am so dense. Like
you know
in
what,
every
though?
sense of the word.
I am so glad that you guys are whinging about Aaron kill stealing because it used to be me that everyone.
No, I remember that.
I also remember you actually did kill Harabas because it was like one point from throwing the sword out. Yeah.
Because the half orc one HP thing, and I come by, grab the sword, take out that last HP.
Thank you, gracious DM.
I like to think there's two different timelines from him going off on his own. A, where he dies in front of Harabaz, or B, where he keeps coming back until he gets him, and he's just tenaciously, he's going to the gym, he's having protein powder, he's getting yoked, he's getting angry, he's letting this wrath fuel him, he's Dark Knight Rising, and comes back with a vengeance. And he hopefully takes down Baldur's Gate. I think, if he survived every encounter, he would either A, run away or have to come back.
Sounds like he's throwing himself in front of a boulder there.
Yeah, and he's trying again and again.
I feel like in Remy
Boulder's
and
got a crack
Ruckus's past, their past catches up to them in the alternate universe, and how they deal with that is on them.
I can't find a demon lord.
So I can say this. So if I were to DM Ruckus solo in Waterdeep,
you'd go mad.
Yes.
No, there's no way you survive
That makes
3 sessions.
That's being generous. That's being really
Yeah, yeah.
generous.
That's
I mean,
that's
you
being
would-
kind.
I'm considering, even with the demon lord who woke me back from death. Oh wait, no, you also
Yeah.
helped me with that.
Devil.
I
It
know.
was a
I mean,
devil, dear, not a demon.
yeah. So you would have been able to figure out the Castellanters and gone to them way too soon, and they would have just wiped you down.
We
You're level
barely
12,
survived.
man.
We barely survived the weaker Castellanter on our own territory. Like, we got lucky.
Straight up took you and me out of the fight with one spell.
Mhm.
What reality does Ruckus farm skills and interactions with smaller creatures until he becomes OP enough to break the game? That's
You just
what
fight boars in the woods.
You know, there are D&D games that exist like that though, where it's just the DM and one player. One of the ones that I need to look into and haven't yet is Dungeon Wives, where it's 2 wives. One of them is the DM and the other is the player, and they just go through an adventure with a character, and you know, it's along those same lines.
In the
I mean, I think that'd be fun.
I attack a boar.
yeah.
I mean, not
And
with
that makes-
Ruckus. Ruckus would die horribly by himself.
This
You
is
seen
just what I
that-
want to do with Thomas.
That one with fuck, it's famous now. Stephen Colbert.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
with-
the Matthew
with
Mercer
Matt
one?
Mercer.
Yeah,
and
Matt Mercer,
Colbert.
and he gets a little bee companion.
Yeah. So the Essentials kit actually has companion rules, so you can play 1 player, 1 DM
Mhm.
using the Essentials kit. All right. What else? What else is coming up in here?
Hef was saying that you skipped his question, and he
Uh-oh.
was very sad.
Probably.
How
Yeah,
dare.
he
Someone
he
had
cursed
asked
a lot.
While you look at
I
that,
got you, Hef.
someone had asked about Dalad's weapon, and it's the hidden blade, that just kind of like retractable thing.
That was King Shikamaru, I believe. I think they're looking it up for their own thing.
Yep. And it's one of those, as an artificer, you get like, depending on the path I haven't built that in a while. I should probably look back at Dalad's character sheet, but like you get certain trinkets based on your field of study. And I decided on that one in night vision. There was another one that I wanted to take that I didn't get. I can't remember, but artificer is fun as long as like I don't in any way plan on leading the adventure. As like a supporting character, artificer is amazing.
Hmm.
What was that even like, having that schizophrenic thing in the last episode?
Oh my God. So while you guys are doing stuff normally, I put a lot of thought into like what Uzo would do, and I just like throw it out there just to kind of like place him in the theater of the mind, because I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, he would probably be doing this while you're doing that. It's a lot harder to do on the spot when you're talking to yourself. Like how? Okay, so Dalad would say Dalad and Uzo's interaction would be extremely tense. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd be friends.
Sure.
But for the sake of not killing either one of them, it became an interaction of convenience. Yeah, because Uzo's kind of existence defies Dalad's perception of reality.
Well, I mean,
So you were
anyone.
blind, and then you got your sight back. Let's.
I mean, literally anyone
Pretty
with magic should defy Dalad's perspective on
Yeah.
reality. He just chooses to go nope, 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 nope.
No, I mean, there's an explanation for this.
But
You-
there's sometimes
you-
there isn't. Sometimes a
Magic
god
is
can
just
see
science
ability.
that we haven't figured out yet. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
By the way, I
Believe
loved your performance of that interaction as well,
That
going
was-
back and forth.
That was
That was
fun.
Shut your
crazy.
face.
That
Shut
was
your
awesome.
mouth.
Both
Stop
of
it.
you guys, seriously.
You
and
shut
Aaron,
your
you guys
face, Warren.
slayed
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
I'm born.
Had a hard time. I remember the one segment where I was genuinely saying Dalad's line as Uzo, and I was
Yeah.
like, "How does Bo do this?"
Yes.
I
That was
try
a
and keep away
genuine
from talking to myself. So
No,
But sometimes cutscenes.
I didn't notice anything. I loved your performance. Walking away after I did what is it,
Ung.
and Ruckus. Okay, first of all, I hope someone clipped the part where I forgot to reply to myself. And Thomas-
If not, we can go back and find it. It's still on Twitch.
yeah, chop chop. And, and second,
Chop, huh?
well, I came to mind. And second thing was that like I would have played it out so that way Ruckus at least talked more about like why he seems a little pissy right now. If people can distinguish, I don't even know. I don't know if he seems the irregular amount of pissy or slightly more pissy. Can you tell?
I
Tell me.
definitely got that you were more pissy, and for a second I thought it was because I was making you role play Ung and Ruckus.
Well, actually, I was mad at myself. I'm my own worst enemy because I was like, "What's his voice? What's his voice?"
Oh my
It's a Sanic
God,
voice. Don't you know the Sanic voice? God.
It was prepubescent voice a second before that.
Mitch's voice was off the rails, not anywhere close.
Oh yeah,
in that
no.
last episode.
Anytime that I'm doing NPCs, like with Saltmarsh, I could not tell you what voices I was using for anyone. I just went with generic masculine, somewhat British for most of them because I was like,
So it's like the when I was making the character sheet, I was kind of just like playing around with stuff and just kind of like, oh, what would this person have been like? And then at some point I found Dalid and I was like, I don't care what happens, this character is not dying. Like I'm keeping this character alive. Like this character is, yeah. I don't know. I was the kind of person in StarCraft who got attached to one Marine and would lose the entire fight trying to save this one Marine because I built up a story in their head about it.
That's awesome.
This guy has 32 confirmed kills. He's seen some shit. We got to keep him alive.
I love it.
Make it 33.
Yeah. Did you find Hef's question, Thomas?
If it was, when are we going to start streaming the 3D printers?
That was the question.
That's
just was that it? Was that not it?
That's an amazing stream.
I mean, that's definitely a way to get streaming hours.
Yeah, we have the streaming hours. It's people watching that we need. I actually just put up a security camera.
Such quality content as this?
Yeah.
Bro.
Sorry.
Onto the printer so I can review them.
As long as, I mean, you put that up and you throw on like the Carbon soundtrack on loop, like you'll get some viewers. People stream aquariums and like plant. There's a plant stream. People are just like watching. Granted that the plant has like level statistics and like room temperature and like UV information about the lights, but like
we should probably tell Kelly about this stream, huh?
It's a stream of a plant. The camera is streaming
really
just the plant.
You know, we were playing. Well, she was playing. What was it? New Horizons, the Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
She was playing it, and we got to the point where it was like, "Hey, see if you can catch a shooting star." And we were playing it on the 47-inch TV, and so we were watching it, and we looked up, and we just sat there, and we're like, "Whoa, this is nice." We were blazed for sure, but it was like, "Whoa, this is very nice." We never saw a shooting star at all, and so we went and looked it up online. Said, when do you find shooting stars? And it was like between 7 p.m. and 4 a.m. So it's like at night.
Wow.
You've never seen a shoot? Is that in person or in game?
No, in game.
Okay.
In game. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
and it was nice just to chill and look at the night sky and the moon, and it was pretty cool.
I've honestly I've only had that experience once in a video game. It was when someone put on Skyrim in a college dorm that I was hanging out in, and it was the dorm was completely dark and the TV took up most of it because it's a dorm. But it was Skyrim way up north, and they'd gotten the Northern Lights right. And I just sat there and stared at them and went, nice. When I leave Alaska, because I was still in Alaska at the time, but I knew I was leaving, I'm going to get this game. And when I feel homesick, I'm just going to go find this place and just sit and watch this. Because it feels like looking out my window and watching the Northern Lights.
You know what I do? Like, I love the details of stuff like that. Like, I'll put on a GTA radio station and just like listen to the content. Or for instance, like the original Division, the radio station, or like some like random NPC rant. Like in GTA, they got this like Jesus character who just like rants about the world. And I'm like, this game is cultural commentary, but this digital character is like speaking some truth. GTA 4 had a radio station called The Journey, and it was basically AI radio station, and it was like the Buddha sort of, and it was like preaching love, harmony, like existential shit. And I was like, wow, synthesized ideas by synthesized voices. Like nothing's real anymore. This is.
I mean, mood though.
I loved JB Smoove. Did you hear him on the radio?
Oh no, which one is he on?
GTA 5. Like if you're just driving around, he has like a little talk show.
Oh yeah, he talks about coconut water.
Yeah.
That is the nectar of the gods. My favorite one is the hipster one where the girl's like she could just totally care less. She's like, yeah, so like here's another song or not, like nothing means anything, so like who cares, just listen to the music. And she like puts it on.
Boy, very, very nihilist point of view there. I like it.
Dude,
it's the so punk station.
I like in Fallout 4, the radio station talks about how like the things you do in game, like as the DJ between songs, he's like, oh, did you see the newcomer went and he took care of those those raiders down at the thing.
Oh, that's cool. I've actually never played any of the Fallout games and which is hilarious to me because as the people at the studio can attest, I collect bottle caps for my friend who is obsessed with the Fallout games, but I've never played them myself. It's one of these days.
I'm glad I got the RPG bug out of me during junior high school, and some of college, because like I cannot dedicate that kind of time. Fallout 4 is like, I got it and I've never even taken it out of the box.
I couldn't even get through God of War 4 because of it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the
4 gets a little
Norse?
Repetitive.
It's the Norse one. It's amazing. I love it.
Where he keeps calling his son boy.
Boy.
There's a great
boy.
meme where it was like Kratos standing like this, and then the caption was like, when you forget your son's name, boy.
So good.
Do you know how often I go, boy? Any of you guys at any given point in time, and it's usually accurate.
Nice.
I want Kratos to just go through all of history and kill all the old gods. Like his next stop should be ancient Egypt.
I don't know if anyone knows this YouTube channel, but they're an old one called Mega 64. They've been around a while, and they had one sketch where they said they had that exact same idea, but instead he actually fought like Jesus.
And then he ends with Jesus. Yes. It ends with him fighting Jesus.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, let's jump back into questions. So let's do all right.
Can I have
Go ahead.
No, okay, wait. If you have, all right. I hope this relates, but I saw or someone talked about they love the Fallout music, and that made me kind of think like, well, what's everybody's like most iconic or favorite game music they like here?
I got Uranium Fever.
What is that? Final Fantasy VII, and then the LA Noire.
Duke Nukem, totally.
Duke Nukem.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
The Doom, like old school Doom.
I have to say it's hard to get more iconic than Legend of Zelda. So that music is just always, that Ocarina of Time will forever be like my soundtrack for Zelda.
Hey, listen.
That used to be my ringtone.
The Persona soundtracks have been consistently good since the very first one. I actually went and found all of the old soundtracks. They are consistently amazing, even in like the PS1 era. And, Persona 5 soundtrack is sharp, stylish, gorgeous. I run to some of that music because it has such a wonderful beat to it.
We all know these people. I would go to my friend's house and I'd watch him play a game, and we play a game, and he would play it with the fucking radio on. And I instantly thought, I was like, there's something wrong with this fucker. He's going to wind up being a serial killer. Like, who does that?
So I would play Pandora when I was playing like World of Warcraft, like for 5 to 6 hours a night while raiding and stuff
sure.
like that.
Sure.
Like
World
a
of
narrative.
After a bit.
Like a narrative, though, you're like, and he's skipping cutscenes? Yeah.
What?
Fuck that kid.
Who is this monster that you know?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Terrible.
Awful.
How do you guys feel about the Metal Gear music?
Haven't listened to it.
Metal Gear Solid?
I need to know it more. I have Phantom Pain, but I haven't played it enough to be like, anything other than their introductory music is great.
It is. It's more. It's definitely mood music.
Yeah.
It's not like.
But
It set the tone well.
Feeling though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, it's very well done.
And like looking back at like Final Fantasy VII, Nubo Uematsu is just like he's a god. He's a god king. But doing that with like 8-bit crushed sort of music to make such a like it filled the game. It filled the game room. It's weird.
So I want to jump into different topic. So this is Carol Wolf again. Do you prefer pre-made adventures versus homebrew?
If I'm the DM or if I'm the player?
So I mean that's a question, right? I mean that's a
if I'm the DM
with carbon, I'm not totally sure what is a module, what is homebrew. I mean it seems to be pretty seamless.
So with carbon, yeah, right now we are on Homebrew City. But for the first 3 episodes, it was module to just kind of. I feel like they're really good training wheels, and then once you get an idea of like where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, then homebrew. It's just like I don't feel like you play D&D to be bound by the like restraints of like a module.
Yeah.
If you can help it.
Well, if you look at like Chaos Agents, I mean, Thomas, you would be a great person to answer that as a DM who did both a module that turned into a homebrew.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So I have issues, honestly, with the Waterdeep module. I think that it was interesting. Had a lot of great elements, a lot of great characters, and stuff to it. I think that it was the goal that you guys had wasn't strong enough, really. You know, it's like, to go and I don't know, get money before some other mysterious person did.
Yeah, the hooks on a module aren't
really
strong.
Money's a really strong motivator, though, because especially if you're poor.
So that's part of the reason why I stopped doing the module, because like I built myself into a corner. Like money is no longer a motivator. You guys are being fed by a corporation. Like the hooks aren't really strong enough. Like I could see you, like especially Amy, who just like zips by any sort of like side quest narrative. Like you guys don't give a shit about like this like lower level political bullshit.
I don't know. I think that that woman missing her child and that drug addict, I think that ended happily.
Yeah,
she had
time.
Not that you need it, but she had a whole bunch of like healing shit back at her place to help you guys. Yeah,
that's great.
That's fun.
That.
A little bit. I want to ask. I actually want to ask Bo this as well. But behind the scenes on the channel, we definitely see a spike in interest and viewers when we do modules.
Sure.
And I think that there's the elements out there of people that want to run themselves and see how somebody else did it. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we started this whole thing. I mean, I was running Horde of the Dragon Queen, and I was watching the guy that does Sirenscape, Ben Looms, his group, the Dice Stormers, run it. Just so that I could see somebody else run it before I was running it as a DM. So I know that that's from a channel point, we get views when we do modules.
Well, and it also is providing that service as well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, which is great.
But Bo, I mean, you are doing a serious homebrew, right?
Yeah. Not one. Very, very serious, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way as a DM. I have never run a module. I've never once. It's always been from my head. I don't want to feel constrained by the module. I want to feel 100% free to tell the story that I want to tell. However, if I was in a pinch and it was like, hey, we need somebody to come in and DM for us. Okay, I might take a look, if it's a friend or something like that. But as far as DMing, I 100% enjoy the homebrew. Yeah. As a player, either way,
Tiana,
I really enjoy it either way.
Okay. Tiana, you've done a lot of stuff.
I've
Sorry.
mostly I've mostly done modules at this point. Saturday I actually started my very first session where it was homebrew, where I'm not running off of a module, and even then I'm fan fictioning Rasmore a little bit.
So when you told me that you were running your homebrew in Rasmore, I was very honored. So thank you.
I mean,
That's-
seriously, I had a story that I wanted to
I
tell.
gotta take these off when I say that. Seriously.
Have we crossed the bridge
Seriously,
of why
thank
Bo's
you.
wearing sunglasses?
I was, yeah, I
No
was
one
just
had brought it up. I was gonna take them off within the first 5 minutes, but no one brought them up. So I was like, all right, fine.
Well,
I was like, he is
Coolest
super
Yeah,
baked
I was
right now.
I was doing it as like a joke. And
Yeah.
just to be like, oh, this is the interview show. I can't be like, brought it up.
This is definitely him.
But in all seriousness, I had a story that I wanted to tell based off of a Von Canto song, and Rasmore was the only place that I could feel comfortable enough that I knew the world well enough, because I fucking love Natural One, and dig into the lore as much as I can, and so I know enough about it to be able to use it as a structure to build my own fan fiction, which I do. I've been writing fan fiction as long as I've been a fan, well over half my life at this point.
Well, thank you very much. That is a dream come true, 100%. Thank you.
so sorry, go ahead.
Well, and it's definitely challenging going from running modules like with Saltmarsh and something as structured as the Mitten, where it's just like grab enemies, kill the PCs, cool, no real thought required, to building out a world. I had to sit and go through a house structure so I could tell one of them what the house structure was, and I was like, son of a bitch, I did this to myself. It's definitely a lot more work home brewing. I like modules because it gives me the structure to play in, because I know what the overarching problem is, and I don't have to come up with the NPCs or the motivations of all of them. I just have to feed them enough clues to lead them in the direction that I want them to go, while mixing in their stuff enough to make it theirs.
It feels a lot more freeing when you run a module and the party does something that the module didn't plan for. You're like, aha, well, we'll sort this out. Whereas when you do a homebrew and you're just like, I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I think of that?
Well, and with modules, yeah, it's a lot more of the experience of going, oh, they thought of something that the game designers didn't. Okay, I'm gonna have to work with this. Let's go, and that's where some of the creativity on that comes in. Like most of Saltmarsh, the structure was there. And you guys had a lot of fun messing around with all of that, and there were things that the module did not anticipate for, and I had fun with that.
I'm really happy that we got to see those characters and go to Saltmarsh in Chaos Agents. That was really, really cool. I like the blending. That was awesome.
So
in my mind, I had them on a staggered timeline.
Yeah, me too originally.
Well, and then I pointed out that I had specifically said that the party at some point went to the Irregular Tavern and would get jobs from there. So sorry. I wasn't expecting the blending. I wouldn't have said that if I'd known.
Dalit is definitely an adjunct professor at the orphanage.
Oh, of course he is.
Absolutely.
Especially now.
Oh yeah, now I spoke to the owner.
Exactly.
I've actually been having fun. So I know what's going to happen in Baldur's Gate with these guys, and I've been having fun going through the Baldur's Gate Gazetteer that is in the back of Avernus, that module. That's all of Baldur's Gate, right? So I can be like, okay, I need a noble that does this. Okay, oh, there's actually already one that does that, and then I can take that name, put it in there, and be like, oh, it's not Dave anymore.
It's
so
Dave.
I've actually been
David.
It's
and
David.
that's been a lot of fun.
Well, and that's one of the things that I love about like the Forgotten Realms lore and knowing people like Spike and being part of the Sages of the Forgotten Realms Facebook group, because you can go in there and be like, hey, were there noble Eladrin families around this time? Oh, here's a link to an article about that. Cool, I can pull from that for my Eladrin bard. Neat.
Yeah,
And use that to create depth in the world.
I definitely pull or steal from our amazing community members. If you're not a member of the Discord, you should join it now. Plug, because a lot of this conversation happens in there as well, and amazing resources in our community for D&D.
So actually, this is a question for you guys out there watching. Do you want to see us do more homebrew or more modules?
Ooh,
Good question.
We do have now a thing called short shots and one shots. It's actually, I want to call it short shots, but it's one shots and short shots.
yeah. I cannot say it fast, because if I do, I just end up swearing the whole way through.
Can we call it Shot Storm?
So at this point,
Just an idea.
Honestly am equal in my enjoyment of the fighting episodes and the role play episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know which one I would prefer to do. I know that it's probably is for me and for as a player, like the role play probably a little bit better. But for people watching, like they want to see us massacre some shit.
I don't know. I mean, again, that's a question for you guys. Do you guys want to see the story? Like, I had a blast with Russo, with Ruckus and Uzo in their adventure, and then that hilarious adventure cut to Remy and Andraste having these emotional moments. It was I enjoyed that.
The
Although,
entire.
had I known Remdraste wasn't going to happen, Kumara definitely would have said something.
While they were having their moments, me and Ruckus, me and Aaron were like, all right, like comedic relief time. Like, let's do this. Let's do this. None of what we planned happened.
Well,
yeah, I thought that too.
None of what we thought of happened.
One of the reasons I think why the last two role play episodes have really worked is because we've spent so much time, running from one crisis to another, and basically putting a bunch of character role play stuff on the back burner and saying, when we have time, we'll deal with this. And we had time, so we dealt with it.
It was really nice to kind of return to that, get a little break, from all the seriousness, especially after that massacre. So
yeah, and like I'm looking forward now to going into Baldur's Gate and dealing with all of that and everything that we're going to deal with. But I wanted to resolve everything that we've been resolving.
What massacre?
We killed all the pirates.
So we defended ourselves and distributed justice.
Oh,
let's not have this argument.
Justice.
Here we go.
Let's not do this right now, please.
Okay.
I would say you probably know my answer. Role play is heavier for me. I'm really, really happy that we get to do a lot of it in that one. I love the group that's doing it. They just, you guys slay, and you guys get really, really into it and take it to all sorts of great places. And the combat is always there. We eventually get to it, but I really enjoy the role play.
There are moments in Carbon where I'm like, guys, how much simpler can I make this for you? And I was like, Thomas, how often does that happen with you for Chaos Agents? A lot, I'd imagine.
I don't know. I don't think so, because I'm not. It's when you say that about Carbon, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't think he disagrees, guys.
There are definitely times where Ryoga is like, we could talk to this guy, or we could just kill him and move on. And
Murder hobo.
Such a murder hobo. It's ridiculous.
You gotta respect it.
He and the turtle will get along great.
But so Ben and I have actually talked about this, about the role of combat in D&D, and just as like an overall broad spectrum talking about role playing thing. And one of the big things that I have landed on after all of that conversation is that, in my opinion, combat doesn't mean anything unless you have stakes, and you don't have stakes without the story, and the characters are the ones driving the story. So without that, I mean, who gives a shit if someone, you know, falls in combat if you don't know the characters and you don't care about the characters. So in my opinion, if I had to stagger them, it would be character and role play so that you care about the combat.
But I mean,
it's just going in and killing things, which is fun. That's what the mitten's for.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I agree 100% that you need character and do the thing, and you know, to have stakes and all of that. We managed to pull that off in the mittens as well.
One shot.
Yeah, it's
well, yeah,
because this is happening.
Because once a month we just let loose and go kill things. Like, but we couldn't build a whole campaign off of that.
But we still find time to role play in those.
Yeah.
The crossover mitten had an hour of role play before.
I am so upset I didn't get to be part of that role play.
That was amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, so I want to ask this question from 3Finger60. I was confused at first in this question. What would Remy think about David, or David think of Remy? And at first I'm like, which one? Which David?
Which David?
Good old David.
The Kenku.
David.
Honestly, I think they'd be friends. I think they'd really like each other. I think that they would respect each other's brains and wit, and I think that they would have a good time. They would drink. They would joke. I think they would have a nice bromance.
I still hold that Remy missed his calling when he didn't become a bard.
Yeah,
he turned to the dark side.
Yeah,
Bard side.
The
Thinking about Bard for next campaign. We'll see.
He's at ship for months on end and he smokes weed. I feel like he knows how to play a lute pretty well. I feel like that's just,
or at least a flute.
Some musical instrument. He just kind of like
tin whistle. That's what he plays. Tin whistle.
And so so early on we did one of our tests. It was actually an audio streaming test. Alan ran us through a small scenario, and I played a bard, and my bard's instrument was telling stories of that. Remember that time?
Inspiring.
I was always like, hey, remember that time when we had to do this thing and you had to, and like, that was how I would do my bardic inspiration.
Nice.
I love that.
This one time at Bard Camp.
If you guys see the film Onward, there's actually, I think the older brother is playing a bard. Like he doesn't like sing or do anything like that, but he's always very inspiring to his younger brother and helping him out. And I think it's very similar to how you were playing that.
I think you're right, because his whole thing is holding on to the stories of the old times. I didn't put that together until just now.
Yeah, he's always inspiring and lifting him up. Yeah,
but he's but he's not a bard who uses magic.
Yeah, it's true.
Onward was so good. I love that movie.
So do like drill instructors technically classify as bards then?
Hey,
Whistle.
It's inspiring or intimidating. I mean, intimidation is a charisma skill.
Fear is a hell of a motivator.
So I can play the spoons and be a bard.
Excellent.
Yes,
you can.
Yes.
I was fully expecting there to be spoons played yesterday, actually.
You're gonna
If
hate
I wasn't
me.
the barter, I would have totally done that.
We have 500 bits from King Shikamaru. 500 to my senpai, Aro. Whatever that means.
Aaron. They corrected it to Aaron.
Senpai. I'm honored. What's the return term? Bo, what is the return term to senpai?
Huh? Kohai?
Kohai?
Kohai, yeah.
So if they call me senpai, I say kohai?
You could, but I wouldn't.
What did you tell me to say?
That's what it is. You have senpai, you have kohai.
All right, well, I love you, Shikamaru, and thank you.
This is a great question. Bo, did you expect Ted to develop a cult and it have a cult leader?
Yeah, I did not expect any of that. I completely blame the hef, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yes. very very flattered, but no, I had no idea. Ted was just supposed to be this fun character that was along for the ride, to make people laugh, and I had no idea. So thank you, Hef.
It's
Thank you.
like what is it? It's like this main series discovering that one of its featured neighbor characters is really popular. It's like, let's spin them off.
Yeah.
I'm good for a spin-off. Tedderson and Associates.
The accounting D&D show.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom accounting D&D show is what it is.
You know what I really want to see, Bo, though?
Mm.
You saw the video that I posted of Kermit singing the Rainbow Connection.
Oh my God,
I really
yes.
want to. I really want to see you do that as Ted. I know you can sing. I have heard you sing.
Well, okay. Well, it's an accounting mitten. That's funny.
You can
yeah,
do the
like,
accounting shanty.
We have to.
from
We have to.
Monty
We have to do the Master Chef mitten first.
I do want to do that actually. I am planning on the Master Chef mitten for sure.
You write it, we'll run it.
Yeah. I'm down.
All right. Actually, you know what? I think now is a great time for a break.
Need a refill
is
of
it?
booze.
It's actually only been an hour.
It's only been
I
an
know.
hour, man.
It's amazing how
But
fast.
You go
guess
on break.
combat.
Me and Aaron will talk about movies. You guys.
Yes.
well, hey,
Alright,
why
I've
we
seen
don't actually
3.
have to go on break, right?
We don't
We
have
can
to.
get up and walk away. But now is a great time to do a giveaway.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
I'm going to the bathroom.
I am so damn.
Hashtag chaos. If anybody needs to get up and go to the bathroom, do it. And we're just gonna keep streaming.
I need another drink to deal with you lot. I need another drink. I'll
All
be
right,
back.
maybe there's a break time. I'll get a drink too, but I'll be right back.
I quit.
Don't look at my ass when I get up.
Look
at
Oh
my
my
ass when I
gosh,
get up.
they're asking for a New Zealand accent.
Oh,
The
you
Raven
gotta do
White.
Taika Waititi. Taika. Aaron.
Taika Waititi.
I hear
there it is.
Taika
A new-
Waititi.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like Flight of the Conchords a lot. So
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
fun.
and
to watch
Murray.
them.
Murray was
Yeah.
my favorite.
Murray, he was great. The
Leggy.
manager.
Leggy, blonde.
Leggy.
010101100.
Oh yeah, binary
Batter-
solo.
Hip
Battery.
hippopotamus. My rhymes are bottomless.
Burke?
I'm the
do you-
hippopotamus. Flows the flow like phosphorus popping off the top of this esophagus. Sorry.
My lyrics made all the ladies in the
mean-
first 2 rows pregnant.
I mean, Bo, you are required to go from that into Hamilton.
Oh yeah. I think for my 33rd birthday, I think we did the karaoke, and me and my buddy did a couple of Hamilton songs.
I was so angry that for my 33rd, I couldn't go out and do karaoke. I was so pissed off about that.
Oh my god. My I think this was my accent or somebody's, but it was more kangaroo than Kiwi. Thank you, Winter. Appreciate that.
Good eye.
Good eye.
Good eye.
Drow killer.
Drow
All right,
killer.
so kind of how long have you been playing role-playing games? So I will tell this story. I was in grade school, very early grade school. My brother was in 6th grade. I was in 1st when I started playing. There was not a lot of role-playing with an E at that time, for sure. But I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. Going through the old 1st edition modules and playing some Star Frontiers in that time as well. That was a lot of fun. And then, I did some playing in junior high, some in high school. But then it wasn't until I got to college that I really took it up again. And then eventually faded away. And then I moved to California, where I played again. I met some people on an online
Wrote
message board.
again.
Yes. It was actually Wizards of the Coast at one point had message boards.
Man.
Obviously now they could not get away with it because there'd be so much trolling.
Oh yeah.
But they had them and somebody posted looking for players. I was like, I'm new to this state. I don't know anybody. Let's go. And one of those people happened to be Ezra. One of those, and eventually Nick. So those were people that I met just
Wow.
on a message board going and playing D&D.
You met people off of a message board back in the internet, wild west of the internet days.
Mhm.
That is
I've
risky.
I did that too with Council of Elrond back when I was really into Lord of the Rings. I met people there that I've known for half my life at this point through writing role play games. So I didn't get into tabletop for a long time, but finish your thing, Thomas.
Oh, I was just going to say, so a different message board. This was a filmmaking message board back in probably early 2000s, late 90s. No, probably early 2000s. I was involved in a filmmaking message board, and then a bunch of other people, blah 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 blah. We would have meetups and everything like that. But there was this guy that I knew, and we started this channel 20 years later or whatever, and looking around at the other shows on there, I'm like, oh dude, I know that guy, like, because of this message board 20 years ago. So Dom Zook over at Saving Throw Show, he runs that stream, and they've been doing it since way before Critical Role.
Oh, that's so cool.
Shit.
I know him. I'm like, oh my God, I've never met you in person, but I've known you for 20 years. Like, so we've been talking. He's going to be on the Untitled podcast coming up.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's just a fun little weird thing, right? This whole internet.
Did you guys, back in AOL days, did you do any role playing, guild role playing in the message board, in the chat room?
I did foreign based role playing, actually.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did Star Wars, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I
Why?
did.
What?
I was obsessed with Star Wars.
So,
I still am, but
there were like Dragon Ball Z chats where like people would fight in like the quicker the typer, the better the position. But I was like doing fantasy stuff and wrestling fed. So like wrestling RP via AOL email was basically like we would do our promo skits and describe it. Basically have to write like an entire paper of like our wrestlers thing. Anyway, dropping the veil on the other people in my AOL in my guild, right? I'm like an assassin, level 80, like going into chat rooms, and Ubu enters the chat with his hood up and like whatever. See, like you'd have to type so many lines before you can initiate an assassination on somebody just to establish your presence. Anyway, give them an opportunity to detect you, and like just the entire veil on everything dropped one day when like the leader, I don't even know what we call it, the leader of our guild, basically she sent an email out with like there's something happened to her, and she sent an email out with her photo in it before like Kiva, or what is it called, like GoFundMe, and it totally threw me for a loop because here I am like 13 years old, like fourth in command of this guild, and I can't help her in her situation, and here she's like 35-year-old flight attendant from Delta, and I'm like, what is life? I don't understand it. Like we talk to each other as if we're peers. Guide me.
Kelly actually started in foreign-based roleplay as well. It's one of the things we bonded over, and Rhea is actually a character that was from that she has kind of ported over and changed to fit D&D. So that's like a fully realized character from those days. It's nice.
Yeah, back in the day, I'm Vaneloswin on pretty much all of the social media stuff, and that started because I was really into Lord of the Rings when the first movie came out, shortly after it came out onto VHS, because it was on VHS first. It was great.
I know what that is.
But
it was on book first, and you know it.
Yes, obviously, duh. I'm sorry, you're telling me this? But yeah, a friend of mine sent me over to the Barrow Downs website where I could get my Elvish name, and I typed in my name, and it came up with Vanalos, and I chose Wen because I liked Arwen. It's an easy choice. And then I looked up what it meant. Vanaloswen means fair-haired snow maiden. I'm blonde naturally from Alaska.
There you go.
So it was like, oh my God.
That's fate. That is fate.
So it's been my internet handle pretty much ever since. But back in the day of Council of Elrond, it was Vanaloswen Fairsnow, who was the younger sister of Legolas, because Legolas's family tree is completely unfilled out, so you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And I did a lot of writing role play with Vanaloswen, and then later with Rainian. And I have people that I've known for not quite 20 years, but certainly a long time off of those message boards.
I'm throwing this out into the ether of the internet. I used to go to this site that introduced me to a lot of fantasy art. I actually downloaded art to use in my like AOL bio for my characters. But it was called Ice Haven, and all it was like fantasy level art. But the music on Ice Haven when you would go there was just like the most majestic thing. And it's like an old school GeoCities page, and I've been looking for it
man.
forever. So if anyone out there is seeing this, please send me a kite, because like
Have you been to archive.org?
no. What? No.
It archives all old websites.
Yeah.
Oh.
Council of Elrond is still out there, and I actually go and poke through there every once in a while to see the shit that I wrote when I was like 15 and 16. Let me tell you.
Do you guys remember YTMND? You're the man now, dog?
Yeah.
Back before the YouTube days, like way like 2004.
Look at Warren's
Wow.
face as he's like
2003.
downloading the internet into his brain.
It's
the
blank.
The big one for it was all memes. It was just like the birth of internet memeing for sure.
From
Nice.
2004 to 2016, it's got so many images and so many clips, but when I click it, it's here. It says Ice Haven Fantasy Images, but it's like it doesn't go anywhere.
So while you're doing that, we actually got 500 bits
Sorry.
from the Raven White.
Oh, must have been for the accent.
Yeah, that was the New Zealand accent from a fan in New Zealand.
Oh my god.
Well, hi.
It's
One of these-
wonderful. No.
One of these days, I'm gonna make it to New Zealand, because I've been as you can probably imagine, I've been a Lord of the Rings nut since I was like 16. I'm gonna go to New Zealand. I'm gonna go see the places. Damn it.
I am looking for cheap flights for December to go either there or Australia.
Sure.
I feel like
Makes
those are going to be
sense.
pretty cheap.
Didn't we have some fans from Cardboard and Chaos watching our pandemic from New Zealand?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the interesting thing. How many patrons do we have? A dozen. 2 of them are from Australia.
What are the odds?
So Australia, on our podcast metrics, actually, Australia is our 3rd most popular country. So
Oh.
it is the U.S., Canada, and Australia.
Excluding Quebec.
Excluding.
It has views, but it just says excluding Quebec.
But yeah, definitely gonna make it to New Zealand at some point. It is very high on my list, that and the UK, because I'm also a huge Sherlock Holmes fan and other UK based authors. Tolkien, Lewis, Shakespeare.
That guy. Totally.
As you do.
I want to go because of Flight of the Conchords.
That's fair. That's
That's my
fair.
draw. I
If
gotta
only
see
the
Shire.
actor that plays Murray is still there, I will go.
He's doing a ton of things still.
Oh, he was in one of the newer episodes of the X-Files when they came back. He played a swamp creature that was bitten by a man and turned into a man in the full moon. So he would so his original form was a swamp monster, but he turned into a man because he was bit by a guy.
And it was
So-
actually
so-
that actor.
Yeah.
So for anyone who was wondering and keeping track, TV and movie talk started at 1 hour and 20 minutes into this.
His name is Rhys Darby.
There
That's
you
his
go.
name.
Yeah.
Rhys Darby.
Not spelled how you think.
Okay.
I like his work.
What?
I've always enjoyed his work. I saw him in Yes Man. He did very good work there.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
brief. Yeah.
Has anybody seen? So since we're on movie talk, has anybody seen the TV show What We Do in the Shadows?
Not yet.
I haven't.
hesitant,
I
very-
haven't.
I have heard really good things about it, though.
I've heard the opposite.
I missed
Really?
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah.
You would.
I mean,
You
here's
would
the thing, the
miss it
movie was
without
amazing.
Taika. Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, I think that comes down to the performances of the people in it and the writing, of course the writing, but the performances and the people who were in it, Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. I mean, it's hard to be at that level.
I enjoyed it from a distance, like from what trailers I've seen. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's their department or if that's actually the good representation of the show, but it seems fine. I just don't have a draw to go see it. I really fell in love with that comedy, like that, or the movie. Like,
Yeah.
really hit it hard with it.
I actually haven't seen the film yet, and it's on my list. I know.
What We Do
I
in the
knew I'd get that
Shadows?
look from Bo.
You haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Nope.
Oh
Wait.
no, it's art.
Has anyone seen what we? No, dang it! It's his other film, where the wilder people hunt.
Oh yeah, Hunt
Where
for the
Wil-
Wilder People.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Where the wild ones are. I was thinking of something.
Yeah, that's Spike Jones.
Yeah, wrong. On me.
You know, I watched Hunt for the Wilder People, and then like right after that, I watched that Swiss Army Man one, which is absolutely surreal. If you have
Yeah.
a chance, see Swiss Army Man, because that is some crazy shit.
I've been hesitant to that one because the trailer is just farting and boners the whole time.
Yeah.
Dude, it is
that's
a surreal film. It is
It's-
a surreal film.
So I don't know. It's and then you get to the end and you think that it's like, okay, so now we know what really happened. But then you're like, wait, I don't know. I don't know.
You have no idea by the end of it, like what any of that was. It's the truth.
Daniel
It's the
Radcliffe's
truth, but it is.
best.
Yeah,
Well,
but it is very surreal and very, artfully done, but like makes no sense.
I love the career Daniel Radcliffe's is going down.
I
with
love
film.
it.
Has anybody even seen the trailer Guns Akimbo?
Is that the one where he's in the bathrobe with the two guns?
Yeah, stapled to his hands throughout the movie. It's
Of
just
course they are.
that's the trailer.
See, I love that because he made all of his money as a child star, and now he's like, I can do whatever I want. So I'm gonna do all the weird artsy films that I want to do, and doesn't
Yeah,
have. He's not
absolutely.
bound to do anything that's commercially successful. He can just do whatever he wants. Like that
And
is
it's also
that is the dream.
it's also very healthy for him, because so many child actors don't turn out well. I mean, like
Yeah.
Critical
Rupert
Role
Grint.
actress Ashley Johnson. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God, just such a shame what happened to her.
Okay.
You're horrible.
You mean Sam Riegel? Sam Riegel.
Oh yeah, well, him too. I mean, man, what was that movie that
He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't in Blind Spot. I'll tell you that.
No. Sam Riegel was in. I thought it was Les Mis or something like that, on Broadway.
Was he? As who?
He was definitely a child actor in some things. I know Ashley Johnson was in Blind Spot, which is why she was always missing from Critical Role.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I got to fly to New York and do real acting.
But I
But
mean,
then again, real acting. I mean, playing just playing the scientist that in a TV show. It's like, yeah.
I feel like
It's
there's way
Russ.
more freedom in the campaigns than there are on a script.
Oh
well,
well,
I mean,
yeah.
of course, there's always more freedom when you're improvising than there is with a
Yeah.
script. The script, you have a script supervisor making sure you don't get a word wrong.
I don't read the script. The script reads me.
I only do it all in one take.
I remember a casting director telling me, like, going into an audition, it's like, yeah, don't ever change the script, right? These people are professional writers, and like they write comedy, so like just do the lines. And I'm like, these lines are shit. Like,
These lines aren't funny.
I know comedy as well. I'm not a professional writer, but like,
But it's not
trust
funny.
me. Yeah, trust me. Yeah.
So is that so when you came in and you read for us, and not Quest and Chaos, but the other thing,
No,
these lines are fucking shit.
no, not at all, man. No. Yeah, no, you guys, like, so acting in the Bay Area is its own fucking animal.
Oh,
because
ain't it just?
a lot of people waste your time. And that when you find a group of people, or you attach yourself to good people on projects, so that like word of mouth spreads on like the quality of project. So when someone says, hey, I got an idea, or like someone is looking for something, like, oh yeah, I trust your artistic judgment because like we're kind of on the same wavelength, or at least I know I might be able to pull a scene out of this that I can use for real somewhere sometime. Yeah.
Did I ever send you stuff for your reel?
No.
Thomas.
Acting in the Bay Area is also participating in stuff that you may never see. I've acted in so many projects that like I haven't seen the end result, and it's like, well, at this point, whatever.
Well, and some of the projects that I've worked on, I didn't want to see the end result by the time that I was done. I was just like, I am so done with this that if you send me a DVD, I will take it outside and ritually burn it.
I
So,
went to,
so actually, interesting. So I do eventually think that project will get finished and shown on this very channel.
nice.
But for those of you who want to see the pilot and one horrible VFX, so decent VFX throughout, and then one horrible VFX, youtube.com/magehaven.
So
Anyway.
the VFX at the time I was impressed by. So
Yeah, but now.
put it in context. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
It's like
this is-
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart's a good. You shut your whore mouth.
You go back and watch those VFX. You watch that CGI dragon and tell me that it stands up.
I
I'm
will
glad you
still
said that.
hold. I will
Lauren
still
is
hold,
trying to get-
though, that Sucker Punch's dragon was better than the Hobbit's dragon. To
There's
this day.
nothing wrong with Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch's graphics were great.
I
yeah.
love Sucker Punch.
This is a
Sucker
good
Punch
video
is an
game.
amazing movie,
Yes.
and Smaug is amazing.
That's another one that doesn't make sense.
Which one?
Sucker
movie?
Punch.
The movie?
I love
Yeah, the
that
film.
movie.
I don't think you can enjoy it
let's
thinking
have that
about
conversation. What do you mean? What doesn't make sense about it?
I saw it in theaters.
You're
and
distracted
I went,
by the cute women in skirts.
In sailor outfits.
it. Zack
Yeah.
Snyder was. Look at him in any interview
Yeah.
talking about his own film. He's like, the action and the... So
That's all it was. That's all it was.
No, it
it was
wasn't.
surreal. It was. I don't think it made much sense at all.
Sucker Punch was a Rorschach test to the moviegoer.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Explain the the levels of inception that movie went through when they were trying to go within a dream, within a dream, within a
Oh
dream.
dear
It did-
God!
it-
I
It's
agree.
not
with
within
Lauren.
a. No, it's
It's
not.
the apocalypse.
when it adds
For the
no weight
record,
to the
I
movie.
liked Sucker Punch for what it was.
It's not
I
a
just don't think
dream.
there was much there.
Wow, that's wow! Holy shit!
What?
Sucker Punch is that? It's appropriately named. It is a Sucker Punch. I don't. People listen to a piece of art or like see a movie and walk away with totally different interpretations. I feel like I don't think I'm reading too much into that film to say that like there were definitely some fucked up predictions in that to our current society. And I'm definitely giving Snyder more due than he deserves, probably. But like even idiots stumble upon genius.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
broken clock, right? Twice a day.
Exactly. And I think with Snyder, it's once a day. He's
I
was
don't
very
have a
disappointed in
problem
Man
with
of
Snyder.
Steel.
Watchmen was
very
great.
disappointed.
Man of Steel was
Watchmen's
great.
ending was horrible.
Yeah.
Everything else was like panel for panel from the comic, but the ending made me want to find him and stab him.
I don't
panel
think he
for
had.
panel.
I don't think he had the. I don't think the ending was his. Right, like that's like some box office marketing PR person deciding.
Maybe, but at the end, I mean, admittedly, the Watchmen ending in the graphic novel didn't make a lot of sense, but it made more sense than what they did with the film. And I'm just like, and my ex and I actually got into a really bad argument over it. So flashbacks.
Sucker Punch is great, by the way.
Sucker Punch is lovely.
It hits you with a sucker punch basically
enjoyed
every act. Yeah, it's amazing.
All I'm saying is I like to think Zack Snyder thrives best when you don't think about the story or what's you know what I mean? Maybe the message shines through.
You want to talk about
great,
a
but
proper
I think
filmmaker? Come on. Let's talk about a proper filmmaker. Talk about
Stop.
Spielberg. Come on.
Wow, after
Someone more recent.
Spielberg shit all over Ready Player One. You want to talk about shot for shot?
He is not perfect for sure.
For sure.
He is not
Handily.
responsible for the Snyderverse, which is DC, which is god awful.
Man of Steel was a good film.
Okay, you know what?
Was that Brandon Roush?
No, that
that's
was
Superman
that was
Returns.
Superman Returns. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I agree it's a good movie, but I don't agree that it is a good Superman movie. That's
Why not?
that's my distinction.
Okay.
How else would
Okay,
you
I'll accept that.
Wait a
Beep.
second. How would you depict Superman? And also, people who say that fucking
I know you're gonna hate what
Christopher
I'm gonna say.
whatever his fucking name is a better
Reeves?
Batman than Ben Affleck, you deserve to be shot.
Wait, Christopher Reeves?
Christian
Because I
Bale?
could nerd out right
Christian
now.
Bale.
Christian Bale.
There
Christian Bale.
you go.
I mean, he wasn't
I'm a
a-
fan
wait.
of Batfleck. I think he's fine.
I think
Batfleck
Batfleck did great.
isn't bad.
I think Batfleck
I-
was born. Ben Affleck was born to play Batman.
Who's looking forward to Cedric as
The Entertainer?
Again, it
You mean
wasn't Batman. That was the
Twinkle
problem.
Town,
It was the
Edward
writing.
Cullen?
It was
yeah?
the writing of all that shit.
Oh,
No, wait
that
a second.
costume. That costume recently.
DC is like innately political, man. Holy shit! Like The writing, you can't have these gods
Thomas.
walking around without the natural world being affected. Like
Batman
the
v
closest,
Superman was one of the worst films I've seen.
you are crazy.
So disappointed.
What?
In
You are
that.
Hey,
crazy.
gentlemen!
It is such a
Gentlemen, I think it's about time for a break, isn't it?
No,
Thomas?
it's not.
no.
Hey.
Wait,
I'm sorry, this isn't contentious. we're just
Batman
talking.
versus Superman was so. Suicide Squad.
Awful.
What do you-
Commercial
no, that was-
failure.
sorry,
Marvel
you're right,
people-
Suicide Squad was worse. Oh, my
Marvel
bad.
people like Aquaman more than they like Man of Steel, and it's because of like they want the campy fucking Superman.
Who likes Aquaman?
It's because
Most
I do.
Marvel people.
you do not like Aquaman.
I like it. No, let me finish. Because it's all about approach and presentation. I think Aquaman is a more entertaining, equally stupid movie, but more visually like CGI is garbage though, and near the end of that, it's also a mess. But it's at least, I don't know. There was more going on in terms of how they wanted to present him to be funny and a little more endearing. I related more to Aquaman than I did with
They
Man of Steel.
fucked up by introducing. I have a special place in my heart for Leto's Joker. He doesn't fit in the current DC, but Joaquin Phoenix's Joker totally fits into the Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman. I
I agree with that.
I still haven't
cinematic
seen
universe.
it. I do want to watch it. I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
but Leto's a jerk who sullies the name of method acting. Like just for that, I don't want to watch any of his shit.
That
Have you
was
not
the
watched-
worst. That Leto as Joker,
That was
absolute
god-awful.
worst.
Hilarious.
Have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
Not yet.
Yeah, I can't get it out of my mind. It's that bad.
You're
That is
fucking
awful.
crazy.
awful.
You are
And film school,
on
they're like,
crack.
oh, this is the greatest movie ever. I'm like, no, this is 2 hours of freaking garbage life. I don't need to see it. You know what I need to see? I need to see Will Ferrell as an elf.
Well,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
I
likes
was
okay.
really with. I grew up
Everyone
on
loves
both
Elf.
on that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
Some people prefer to consume, junk food. I have a little bit more sophisticated and healthy palate.
Whoa!
His father chose to die via tornado when he had no choice, when he could have completely avoided that. I don't
Correct.
think that's thinking man's food. I'll just say,
Soft lob. Like the movie isn't about him. Soft
of
lob.
course it's not,
I-
but it's
I would
about
say-
Superman.
I would
Oh,
say
man.
Man of Steel had one great thing. It really showed what two Kryptonians would do to the city if they fought, and I really liked that. I
They
like
Okay,
create a
hey,
great
we
Dragon
need-
Ball Z
We've
movie.
got a giveaway.
Yes.
We've got a giveaway, everybody.
Thank you.
We have a giveaway. And also a question from the chat. Let me look
Oh,
for a question from the
That's
chat.
what we're doing here.
Distract you guys.
Dude, Requiem for a Dream. Are you kidding me?
I have
Oh,
one more Man of
no.
Steel thing.
Ah,
Man of Steel? Is it?
Thomas, you should have had the question ready, man.
yeah, I just
Beyond Owl.
there's no question. It's just like stop. Please stop.
We will
Can we
continue this.
you know what the world would okay, Darren Aronofsky, him and Zack Snyder should just go off to an island and not make movies.
Zack Schneider?
I don't know
think
the other
he
guy, but I
should go
support
that.
this.
You guys didn't like you didn't like 300 then, eh?
No, I love
I
300 was
very- I
a
was-
brilliant film.
I was very drunk when I watched
problem-
that. I could consume it.
The problem is when directors have specific styles, it's easy to pigeonhole their shit. And M. Night went through this too, and now people are like sucking him off.
Okay, well, M
Whoa,
Night,
hold off. Hold on.
M Night screwed up a
This
lot.
is
Let's be honest.
R-rated show.
And they are filleting him.
Oh, I see, Thomas. You want us to get more graphic with our description?
Hey, Squeal the Bard, everybody.
Congrats,
our
Ben.
favorite Ben.
Oh my god,
has
he
won
won.
the giveaway. So congratulations on your Gale Force 9 deck of your choice, which could be spell cards, monster cards, NPC cards. Really, that's about it. It's spell cards or monster cards. So.
Sky's the limit.
Which is, I mean, there's
We
a lot
should take
there.
that break.
No. All right,
just
you guys
pissed.
go. You guys go
Yeah.
to break. Me and Aaron will keep talking.
Oh,
I
God.
am ready. I've already taken my adrenaline needle.
Oh, Pulp Fiction. Awesome.
All right, I'll
Let's,
just take a break then.
Pulp Fiction is okay. I mean,
It's okay.
Tarantino has another. So style is fashion,
RPG
and it
talk, RPG
runs
talk.
out.
There's a
RPG
Dragonlance movie. No. There's a Dungeons and Dragons movie that is on
With
hold right now.
Marlon Wayans. That one.
You know what?
The old
Okay,
one?
so the second Dungeons and Dragons movie, decent. First one with Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
awful.
that's the one.
The second you
Jeremy
said
Irons
decent,
is
Tiana
just-
left.
It's almost so movie, and it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's
Snails, Marlon Wayans, yeah, who's also
He's-
in Requiem
he
for a
was-
Dream.
I haven't seen.
he
either.
was okay. Marlon Wayans was
He's
awesome
a good actor.
in
He's a good
Yeah.
actor, yeah.
Yes. So I was flipping through the channels one day and I saw I was like, oh my God, what is this D&D movie? And I'm like, oh, it's Wrath of the Dragon King or whatever it's called. I'm like, oh, the second movie, I've never seen this. And it was the last 10 minutes and it was amazing. And then I went back and I watched the movie from the beginning. I'm like, oh, the last 10 minutes was amazing.
What's the Seventh Son? Have you seen that? I have not. I just seen like scenes from it. I still want to see it with Bo Bridges. It's not RPG, but it is in the fantasy genre. I'm the seventh son of the seventh son. No, okay. I'm
I think
13th Warrior with
13th Warrior is amazing.
so
I haven't
good.
seen it.
So
So
slow though.
amazing.
But so good, yeah.
You know what? It's a part of the journey. Comments like that are how Uncle Ben gives himself up in the tornado, because like there's there's some like person in a what do they call those, control group, some person who has the time to sit there and like, these are like undecided voters in November, these kind of people, and they're just like, oh yeah, maybe like, I don't know, Uncle Ben, I'm not attached to him, like let's fucking.
What I imagine going on in that test group before Man of Steel, that's what I agree. Yeah, I think producers with film jump in a lot, especially now, and kind of interrupt stuff. So I wish they were directors were given more freedom. That being said, I really wish, I think this happened in the marketing meeting. I would just imagine someone going, can his dad die in like a more interesting way? You know, like, can he be more
I'll tell you,
flashy? I'm kind of bored right now. Like,
I'll tell you exactly what happened. So market research has shown that people are less attached to the paternal father unit inside the family home. So if you want them to maintain stakes, and shut up and let them fucking write the script.
So
because like, if it was for the comics, last statement on Man of Steel from me. I got to get this out. I got to get this off my chest. If it was from the comics, I could have sworn like his dad died. Thomas, his dad died by a heart attack, and that was more challenging for Superman to deal with because he can't save someone from a heart attack, but he can save everyone from a tornado. You know. Anyway, I'll shut up now.
Origins, like, it doesn't matter. Like,
I'm talking about presentation. That's what would have got me, not the tornado. But it's still a good movie.
You want research? Like, give somebody a heart attack on screen in a movie. That touches way too close to home in America. Like,
yeah, but that's
heart
come
disease is
on.
the number one killer here.
Filmmaking though, like, things happen in life and they have to happen to film. Not everything, but some things like happen every day. Like, maybe that's an Ariana Grande statement or Vanessa Hudgens' statement recently, the way she was making fun of stuff.
Like, if that was real life, when they were going to save Martha, right, she would have died in a heart attack. That's way too intense for a 65-year-old lady to have to go through.
But it's so much so much more emotionally evocative. I would have loved that.
Speaking of Martha, one of my favorite memes is the photo of Snoop Dogg and Martha, and the caption, "One of these two is a felon."
Yeah.
So, Dungeons and Dragons, everyone.
Can I pay attention again?
What is that?
Hey, for the record, it's nice to sit here and talk with you guys. I mean, yes, we're supposed to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but during COVID, during all of this, it's nice to just sit and hang out and shoot the shit with you guys. I'm sorry to the audience if it's not as entertaining, but it is really nice to see you guys and do this.
No, it's
sentimental bullshit.
Oh, shut the fuck up! You know you
That's
look
me.
at
I
him.
mean, it is what it is. But I don't think it's bullshit. So.
No, I completely agree. This feels like sitting around. I mean, minus the ability to reach over and physically touch someone and shove them off a chair when they're being dumb, Aaron.
I will never stop that. The 6 feet, it helps me.
But short of that, this feels like sitting around the table in the like half hour before we start the show and hanging out and bullshitting. It's a lot of fun. I've missed you guys.
Seriously.
It's awesome.
And I'm so glad that everyone's here to see this. This is nice.
So this whole thing started off with last week. Tiana and I worked that like insane 420 video stream.
Nice.
It was long. It was exhausting.
And then Tuesday going, I don't know if I can do this next week. Knowing that. So originally on this Thursday, we were going to have a part one of a 2-shot. We believe it's going to be next week, Thursday. Part one of a 2-shot. It is a introductory session to a campaign called Exalted Veils that is going to be hitting Kickstarter mid-May. And that was the reason why we didn't do it this week. Is it was supposed to be in April, and then it was supposed to be May 1st, and then it's mid-May now. But
it was supposed to be on Hef Day? It was supposed to be on Hef Day, is what you're telling me? So mid-May, it's gonna hit Kickstarter. It's it's much like Waterdeep, where it is a module and then a big portion of lore about the world. We are going to be doing the introductory little session. So there's some cool little classes in there and archetypes and different things like that. But we were supposed to be doing it this week, which is why I was like, I'm fucking overwhelmed. Yeah.
Fair.
But now, so actually being off, I've like I said before, I was like super writing into the Baldur's Gate section of this story. I know there's a gap in there between, like, it's much like the Underwear Gnomes. So I know Baldur's Gate, free Uzo's patron, but there's stuff in the middle of that. So
what? There's stuff in the middle of that? What are you talking about?
Anyway, what did I did respond in chat while you guys were having movie talk. I just went and started talking.
Oh yeah, no, I went and hung out in chat.
No,
I see how it is.
Fantasy movie talk.
You don't deserve me without the sunglasses.
As I pointed out in chat.
Hey, look, it's normal Bo.
As I pointed out in chat, the reason why I don't like movie talk is because I have nothing to contribute. So I just sit here and listen to you guys, and I just sit back and wait.
Does anyone know or like Chronicles of Riddick? I don't know why that's a thing.
Yes.
I've never seen it. It's a thing. It's a good thing, or
just the first one. Just watch the first one. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I like with sci-fi. I like
it's
the
very original
that they
like
build. That. Yeah, it is.
Because I snuck up on you. Vin Diesel is actually a D&D topic. He's got his own thing.
Okay.
Apparently, he's a big nerd.
He is.
And apparently, he's not. Joe Manganiello called his shit out and been like,
"Oh, really?"
He's so Joe Manganiello. I think on Colbert was like, I've never seen Diesel play D&D.
But he's not the authority, you know. Like, apparently, what I heard back in like Game Revolution time was like, because paying him an amazing amount of money to say I am Groot is fucking ridiculous. But apparently he did run campaigns.
So there is a stream, I think it was on Geek and Sundry, called D&D Diesel, where Vin Diesel plays D&D. He's awful. He's freaking awful. He's not a great D&D player.
And I believe that because he's not a very good improv person, and you have to be at least decent at improv.
He's actually really awkward. We should all find a video of him. There's a video of him on YouTube where he actually tries to hit on a reporter. He got a lot of flack for this. I can't remember like how many years ago, but man, it is so uncomfortable. He's like, man, he just literally doesn't answer a single question, and he keeps complimenting the interviewer. And at the end, he's like, man, you must come from some beautiful island or something. That's verbatim what he says.
Is he high?
I
think he was drunk because it was like the end of like a tour or like a series of interviews. But man, that was what a gem of a clip.
When he walked into the studio in stilts to record I Am Groot, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. Have you seen those images? Like, he walks into the recording booth to record his sounds for Groot, and the entire time they're recording, he's wearing stilts.
Oh
I
my
thought that was
god.
a joke.
Warren, why does it look like you've replaced your background with your own background?
What?
What?
I think I get what he says.
This is my dirty house. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?
It literally
Oh,
looks
well,
like
I will
you've
play in
green
that
screened
game.
out your background and put your own background in.
Like, you know,
I don't.
yeah.
A lot of YouTubers do that. They like take a picture of their background and then they green screen it and like make their background slightly blurry so that they can kind of have like this bokeh sort of like focus look. But I'm not doing that now. Yeah.
All right. Hey everyone. Here's a question: mind flayers, pro or con?
Mind
What?
flayers?
Yeah. Illithid.
Sure.
What about them?
I love that.
Sir?
We.
encountered one.
I know we
like the
encountered it
second
and
episode.
it disappeared and we never saw it again. And I was like, where did that arc go? Who is that person? I remember it disappeared through the door and the door locked behind it. And I was just like, so there was just a random mind flayer. All right, cool.
Okay.
Hey, that's why you Dragon Heist.
I mean, I really don't want us to run into a mind flayer if they have any wisdom-based attacks. Remy.
Remy's
I
on
think you're on mute.
But
mute.
while
Thank
he's
you.
on,
What a unique and wonderful villain is a mind flayer. I think mind flayers are brilliant, and I think they add a lot of drama.
the Night Wolf Raven. I'm sorry, the Raven White Night Wolf. The Raven White says, no one's commented on the fact that Remy's HP is 69.
We joke about that a lot in studio, though. we leave
That's
the
fair.
rest of it up to you guys.
It's
Yeah.
like, do I call this out? Like, nah.
The only
Someone's
thing
gotta
to say
say yours.
about Remy's HP at any given time is nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Nice.
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 Speaking
So that is a Banderhob. It is a frog-like creature that can swallow you. We'll see you next week.
Oh man, I can't wait to
I-
jump in that thing's mouth.
So I've got like a very grandiose view of Illithids because like in Salvatore's universe of like Drist going to the surface, like for the love of God, just don't come across any Illithids, right? Like
Yeah.
holy fuck. Yeah. So I
Um,
was really curious to interact with it. It went behind the door, and which is why I still remember it. It's like, is this guy like the ultimate villain? And like we just saw, this is like the biggest arc ever.
so I will say that that may or may not have been in the module. I definitely don't remember, and I might not have read.
I think it was in the module. I think it was.
Actually, you know what it was? So it was a that was a Xanathar group down there.
Of course,
So the
it was.
Illithid works with the Xanathar.
Mhm.
You guys went against the Castle Enters, not the Xanathar. So if with the module, I could have chosen different
Villains.
villains, right? So it could have been Jarlaxle or Manchun, Castellanters, or Xanathar. I actually chose the Castellanters specifically because it was the least interesting villain. And I thought, as a stream, this is my, meta metrics. As a stream, I thought most people would fight against Xanathar or Jarlaxle. So after they were done, they might want to come and watch somebody else play one of the other characters, one of the other villains.
Fair assumption.
Villains. It was all about you guys and your PCs. That makes it interesting, right? So
We never told Barnabas that we ran it. By the way, I think you might want to know there was a mind flayer underneath the city.
There were a lot of other
FYI.
things going on.
No, I
Yeah.
think we did say
We
it to
didn't.
Barnabas. I think Remy said it, and there was this thing. Well, maybe I don't remember.
Just keep your head out. Just keep your eyes open. By the way.
I didn't hear a single word Bo said. He's too damn cool.
so damn cool. He wears his sunglasses inside.
yes, you guys did go
Do
to
the
the guard
thing.
and go like, "Hey, there's a bunch of were rats over there, though."
I did.
Well, that was because they directly affected us.
Oh my god! So in my home game,
Shame me into it.
in my home game last Friday, we're playing on Roll20 because we're quarantined,
Everything.
and we're going into the sewers, and we're looking around, we're doing stuff and going through, and it wasn't until the very end of the session that I realized, once the whole map was revealed, I was like, oh my God, I just went in the room where Remy became a were-rat. Using that map for the sewers. I was like,
That's
that's
awesome.
pretty.
Boy, some flashbacks there.
Yeah.
I heard there was a Remy-esque rat yesterday.
Cheddar cheese.
So a Tabaxi Rogue, Cheddar McCheesy from Lucifer Viltrack, also was a were-rat. So it was like half cat rat. What did Amy was calling it, a were-crat?
A were-crat, yeah.
Were-crat.
No, Thomas, you're missing the best part of this. This were-rat would turn into a were-rat if they got too angry, which is pretty standard for, but also if they hadn't eaten cheese in 24 hours.
A pound of cheese. On the character sheet, it says, must eat a pound of cheese
every 24 hours.
Does the type matter, or could be anything?
Nope,
even if it's
so Amy always had in her pocket, she said she had pocket cheese specifically for that.
A pound of it.
You gotta have pounds of
So many
pocket
different
At
kinds.
least a pound of pocket cheese.
yeah, you got to have at least 7 pounds, right? Like, because you never know where you're gonna get your next hit of cheese.
That's some sweet Gouda hits the vein.
Yeah. Do you?
I feel that though.
If that's your stipulation, do you eat the pound up front? Do you start your day off with the pound and then don't have to worry about it?
It's not a diet, it's a demand. Stomach all of that the second you have to.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Is my opinion.
Those are some great fun characters on that show.
That was a lot of fun. I got to be I got to be the creepy kid from the crime family.
Any vampire RPGs we can run?
Oof, I've never played Vampire.
Teach me how to play Vampire the Masquerade, and I will run it.
I vote the next one is Aliens, like from the proper Aliens universe.
Can the planet Vegeta count?
So there is a problem with the Aliens RPG. And I've actually been saying this well before there actually was an Aliens RPG. Step 1, kill the android. Just get rid of them right now. Your problems are going to be solved. It is going to be a sweet, awesome journey through the rest.
How many films do you have to see to tell you that?
Yeah,
All
exactly. Just like, and I've looked at the module. So there is an introductory module, and I'm like, just kill the fucking android. Step 1 in any Aliens RPG, kill the android.
It looked really good. We saw it at what was it?
Yeah,
at the
Gamma
conference. Yeah, Gamma. Pretty cool.
I mean, to be fair, Daniel, Carbon 2185 is also just D&D with a skin. Just throwing that out there.
I like how so Amy and I and Warren, you may want to check out the Untitled podcast, episode 4 that just went up.
I was watching the interview we did with Tassi. I didn't make it all the way through though, but I like it now.
Yeah, I think it was before then. We talked a little bit about Carbon 2185 and how Amy, like, I literally looked over and Amy had the book open page to the cyber vampire. I'm like, come on. And her point is, it was they should have put it in a separate book for the monsters. Like, oh,
they're just trying to get out the door.
A monster manual, perhaps.
Well, I don't know if you're in the Discord or following on Facebook, but like a bunch of people are like, so you see the way the Carbon characters are laid out inside, the manual. Inside the guide, where they have an illustration and then the stat block and then some other like attributes underneath. Like a bunch of people are creating their own sort of characters, and I think it's like TBD whether or not Robert and team might actually use them. I don't know what the legality is, but I'm like, this is a finished fucking character. I don't know what kind of game testing you need to do to make sure that they're not broken, but like I kind of want to use this character in the homebrew.
Nice. For like NPCs or
No, NPCs. Yeah, so they have like the same stat block like you would find for the cyber characters in the back.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
Awesome.
hey, Warren. A Panthrope wants more Warren's drunk history. You should do that in the Puppet Theater. You should do that.
Oh shit. What are we doing then? What's
I
the
don't
next
know.
episode?
Pick
What should we
anything.
recreate?
Oh my god.
We'll get the
That
writing
was
team
so
together. We'll figure it out.
funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
That was partially funny because it was off the cuff. Do we do? You know what? I had a lot of fun playing my first time playing Call of Cthulhu with
With us,
Ezra. Yeah, with the little
That was
stone
brilliant.
serpents. That was really fun.
I've never forgotten Mina and how all that went down, and quadruple dick.
Oh my god, I loved it. You know, I really liked Aaron's work in that as well. That whole moment where he opens his mouth and the worm starts coming out, and you're like, oh, let's just put that back in there. I mean, so solid, so good.
You gotta remember the paper boy.
So one of the questions is, how long did it take to make that?
Was that
and
about
it
a half
was-
hour
It was a live half-hour feed of Warren just
on
going.
Facebook?
Oh
And
yeah.
we cut out 12 minutes of it where he talked about the Foxy Irregulars.
Ish.
Yeah, it's basically a live
You
stream
got the
where I
gist.
was like, all right, you guys tell me what I should marionette, and no one was saying anything, and I was just like playing people, and I was like, oh, I can make this character like a short person. So I was like, and this is Remy, and I put him in a suit, and I was
I like that.
because it was kind of like exploring too. I didn't know that like if I took a boat and then you add a cannon to the boat, it turns it into this battleship, or like
That was cool.
I
That was really
yeah,
neat.
I didn't know like a lot. It was a lot of discovery there, but it was just like straight through. So I'll see. I mean I can do it again. Now the
Please,
pressure's
I
on.
really want you to do it again.
God.
Do one of the shoot. Do one of the adventures in Waterdeep.
Do the mushroom trip, but also do it definitely inebriated and or on mushrooms, but at your discretion.
So I'm not drinking for the month of April. So what I was under the influence of something else, but I will.
There
No,
it
we
is.
know.
I
There
will
it
make
is.
it. All right. All right.
Do it.
And to answer the
Got it.
and to answer the Hefner's question, the tall halfling is almost done. I've gotten it back from the editor. I am working on putting in the final edits, and then we'll see what happens. I need to find a cover artist. That's the biggest thing right now.
I don't
Nice.
think you should have a cover artist. I think you should make a phallic symbol, but like have it like protruding. Like if you ran your hand over it, you could feel the texture of it against the cover, the hard.
Do you
So you can
understand?
get to the Braille audience, you know?
Yeah.
First off, that would take just so damn much to print. Second off, this is so I know Thomas described it as erotica. I can't write just straight erotica. I can't. So it's a romance with sex scenes.
I would sarcastically
like
write erotic.
It's a
But I
romance.
get good at it.
Chupacabra erotica is my claim to fame.
That's spicy.
No eggplant. God damn it, Hef.
And imagine reading it like, why are you wasting my time? Okay, boom. Like going to the direct to the scene, right? Fast forwarding in the porn that to the point that you like.
Okay, so
All right,
so
pizza guy comes and they talk and yada yada. Oh, okay, here we go.
Whoa,
Boom.
whoa,
here's-
whoa, whoa,
here's-
whoa!
here's-
You're missing the
here's
best
something.
part.
here's something interesting.
Pepperoni, sausage, black mushrooms. What are they putting on this pizza? I mean, that's what we really need.
I don't know if pineapple goes on it, but eggplant sure does.
Okay, so here's something that
Tongue in mouth.
that I've observed from talking to a lot of people who read erotica, watch porn, shit like that. Get into the nitty gritty in the 9 o'clock hour. I have noticed that that some people want the story and the lead up into it, and that's what makes the sex interesting for them. And then some people just want the visual interaction with porn. And erotica is written for people who want emotional context around the sex, and porn is for people who just want to go straight into the sex.
They're doing
Neither
it
one's wrong.
They're doing it wrong.
Both of them are different ways of handling it. I just tend to
I have
be-
so much to say on this subject, and I am not going to say a damn word.
Why
I
not?
will. I
just
will.
personally tend to be in the erotica camp.
The 50 Shades trilogy has its audience for a reason. That's all.
Okay,
I'll say.
no, fuck
And I
50 Shades
lift-
of Grey,
I
though.
lift
It is
3
badly
DVDs.
written. It is abuse. Sorry.
So
Okay, cool.
So
I
one
have
of the
opinions
things
about
that,
books.
one of the first questions that came in that we did not ask yet is a Panthro wanted to know, I believe, so what inspired like that aha moment for us to launch this channel was Critical Role season 2. And Tiana, you went and took this thing that was just kind of mentioned around, and suddenly it's a real book. Like
A real book. It's a 56,000 word book now.
like does anyone else what else has anybody done here where you're like, I can do that, I want to go and do that?
Good question. Yeah. Hats off to that.
And yes, for those asking, I'm doing the audiobook and I'm talking to someone else about doing the male chapters. It's going to be interesting.
I mean,
If you go
Thomas,
to my
you and Amy said
Instagram-
we can do that, and you went and did that. So
Well,
Yeah.
that's this whatever this is.
mhm.
you can get a sample of me reading erotica on my Instagram if you.
It's true. It's my
That's
ringtone.
right.
Ringtone. Oh, people still
I
do
legitimately forgot that you did that. I wiped it out of my brain. I had brain bleach.
A lot of people didn't make it to the end, oddly enough. I thought it was very obvious what was happening, but no. I basically
I gotta
like
know now.
when I was reading it, I like, and you can see the trail off of like what people listened to the thing the whole way through and who didn't.
Yeah.
And I started losing people around like page 4, and I was like, I wonder what they think. I wonder what they think is happening here. Anyway,
They finished by page 4. They're
Proper
coming
form
back.
there.
They'll come back for the rest later.
Did they
that's how
finish?
that's how good it was.
yeah, I was gonna say something, not that, but I got caught in the tangent, so now I forgot. Sorry, guys.
Talking about things that this channel has inspired you to go and do the thing.
Oh, that's how I kind of like. So just kind of coming and playing with you guys was like fun, but then the moment I realized like this community is amazing was when people would my mug that made by the Baroness or the Mike too making merch, but
Mhm.
Andrea making us incense and the Baroness making us maps, right?
Mhm.
Like making these things so much more tangible. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I still have
gotta
it.
Call out.
I still
Gotta
have
call
it.
out Squeal the Bard as well.
Squeal
Making
too.
Oh yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Squeal with
Baroness.
with the irregular
Right.
tavern shingle there.
The Baroness as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually made a copy of the Tall Halfling, and at some point I'm gonna like sit down and transcribe the damn thing.
I mean, they're
Not in
you know,
Elvish because I can't do that.
I keep the deed on the nightstand next to my bed.
That's
so
awesome.
precious.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
I still have the robe.
Oh, if you can see it, up on top of that, you see that? That's Bryn right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
That's
Hey.
cool.
Wonderful.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say what I think is cool, and this is me. I think when Warren, when you were in the Zablob shop and you rolled for a random item and you got a deed, I this is me saying how great I am. I really love the fact that I tied that into like it's the end game of this entire story is just
That's
that
really
one
cool.
weird random thing.
I love that. I love
That's
that.
Real
though.
life.
Yeah.
It's skillfully done.
I had a lot of fun. I mean, I had so much fun taking your guys' backstory and trying to weave it into some like weird overall story and Waterdeep and try and get it all in there.
I will say to this day, and we've been through some pretty amazing arcs since. The Forest arc is my favorite. I loved how that all came through. How we just it was so well done. It was so cool. You took what I had written for my backstory and you turned it into something that I didn't expect. That was an emotional gut punch every several episodes, and it was brilliant, and I loved it.
I'm very biased. I loved Remy's arc. I do.
I mean, of course, we're biased to our own
absolutely
arcs.
do. Yeah. It was it was brilliant. I really enjoyed all the drama that came with it. Ruckus dying,
God.
Uzo and Remy tension, just all of that culminating in that the very final battle and that massacre and all of that. I just a lot of emotion, a lot of really great stuff.
You put
And,
these headstrong characters in tight quarters for a very long time. Right? Things are gonna pop for sure.
Oh yeah.
I did like the forest. Yeah.
Yeah, that as well. Oh no, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
I mean,
So
ending with the glitch.
That was great.
Which you can now actually play in PDF form at Nord Games. Dreaded Curse is available as PDF because they are, printing issues right now. So here's the deal: we are getting throwback requests because Hef Day is coming up.
Yes, do it. Do it.
Hashtag in the chat right now.
Hashtag mug.
Hashtag mug.
Give away a mug.
Hashtag mug.
Because Hef Day is coming up. May 1st is Hef Day. There's also a half day out there as well.
Yeah,
that's a Saturday, right?
December 1st?
Friday, I think.
May 1st is
I'm not gonna double check.
December 1st.
It's a Friday. You're right. Shit.
Yeah. I actually looked it up because I was like, what can we do on Friday? And
Whoops.
then I'm like, oh God. Friday. I'm like, oh, at the end of the week.
Yeah.
I give up.
Honestly, it's weird. Like jumping into back into Rona conversation for just a second. It's weird how much more, how many more games I'm playing and running. I'm going to be running 2 games this week. The fuck? And I'm also in like 4 games, not counting the 2 that I'm on the channel. So I'm playing way more than I used to. And God, it's exhausting. It's a great problem to have, but Jesus God, it's hard.
I mean, there honestly, there is too much D&D. There can be too much role playing. It is a true thing when it interrupts everything else. I mean, just like everything else, right?
Yeah.
When it interrupts your lifestyle or a healthy life, it's too much.
Well, and it's less. I think it's less that that it's too much D&D because I will always. I hold that I still don't have enough D&D in my life, but it's this. It's the video interaction. It's not being able to be in person with people.
I used to try to I was really neurotic about my time, and I would try to bookend our sessions oh, I got to do this other thing after this, but it's morphed into when I play, that's the thing I had to do today. I've got nothing else because I want to enjoy it.
Nice. I for a little while there, I felt like I was behind, and it was always oh man, I have to do this. Or just having this 1 week off was I'm prepped now for 4 sessions I had at this point. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm really diving into even more.
We'll make it 6 to 8 sessions, I'm sure.
So much time.
So I will say this. I mean, we are on the home stretch, right? So it is, things are going to happen pretty quick, provided they can just get out of Saltmarsh.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm living.
But I mean, we really did need to spend a couple of episodes just settling a couple of things, breathing for a second before we go and dive into more, life or death situations. I think we really needed that, and the 9th level up was the time to do it.
I'm so happy on level 9.
I can't wait for level 10 though. a 1 in 10 chance of being able to get Lyra to just fix our shit for us.
Could have been useful in the forest,
Oh. Could have been useful in a lot of places.
I love that part of the animation. Where you're just I could have did this at any time, but I'd rather put you through this.
I hold though, and I mean, Spike can correct me on this because he knows more about the Forgotten Realms and the gods and the goddesses and all of that, but I think that they can't do a lot of stuff without people to work through. So she had to have someone like Andraste who had a reason to go and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of that where the gods can give you power to do things.
I mean, much like with Dendar, what we're off to do now.
And I also, I love, Uzo as a character and the choices you make and stuff. I was like, so in my home game, I'm a Pact of the Tome Warlock, right? So I'm like, this seems really fun. I want to play this and see what it's like. And we level about the same pace as a irregular, so it's very slow. I'm like, oh man, I can't even cast rituals yet.
So playing with you guys, I'm like, so my thing isn't like straight just bruiser sort of power. I kind of feel like one, it definitely has to fit into the story. Well, yeah, whatever. It definitely has to fit into the story. But I want to like manipulate stuff. Like I want to like shape water and turn it into a key to like pick the lock or something. Like find some way to break your RP.
Imagination.
And not like
you, Thomas, you arse.
Not min-max, but yeah, just kind of like, and I'm gonna use this to do this for role playing and like skip to the end of this adventure. In an ideal world. Yeah.
Nice. I think our next mitten should be first level.
No.
I
very much like Andrea's idea of having a mitten with 20th level Chaos Agents characters, because oh my god, a 20th level Remy.
First level.
So I'll tell you this. Campaign 2, Amy has already gotten me to at least start you guys at second level.
Hey!
Yay!
There you go.
It's all right. My character is a child anyway.
I mean, my other question is, Thomas, are you going to make us do point buy, and is it going to be 27 point? Because I have words for that. None of them are printable.
It will absolutely be point buy,
but
we will see the number.
Not 27. 27 is just not you like I had Roscoe yesterday with a point bite. I had 3 negative stats.
It's so painful.
That's not fun to play.
For a DM, it's a lot of fun.
I'm glad. For the player, it's not fun.
Well, I mean, it depends. I know a lot of players who enjoy point buy. It's true. I think it could be an effective tool if the point pool may be expanded.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, I've done.
You could go up to like 30 or 34. That would be.
Yeah, I've done 32 before and felt infinitely better than 27. 27 is very low. I like point buy in the fact that you're going to get characters that are balanced across, because really if somebody does roll really well, their character is going to be able to just take over.
Well, but not necessarily, because like I have a bard character that I rolled up where the lowest stat was a 13. I had like 3 16s because it was 46 reroll 1s. And I'm looking at this character and going, I'm looking at all the other characters though too, and we're all balanced with each other. So no one's gonna take over because everyone's balanced with each other because of re-rolling 1s.
That's true.
All I'm saying is I better be able to jump freely in front of a boulder and possibly survive.
You need to play someone other than Ruckus, mate.
Yeah, I will, but that's still gonna come up.
Here's the thing, and for the mitten, Tiana, we kind of had this where I had you roll the stats and you ended up with a really, really bad low stat.
Oh no, for the one shot with Sarge.
Oh yeah, for the one shot, yeah, with Sarge, you ended up with 2 just really, really bad stats. Still, I am a big proponent of having at least one just for the role play aspect that is low, like Remy with wisdom can't do perception at all. There's plenty of opportunity for that in the character, or somebody who rolls like a 7 on intelligence You know what I mean? Being able to add that into the character and work with that, I think is really cool.
Well, and I think that's a lot of fun because, I mean, Andraste has an 11 intelligence and a 10 charisma. She's very straightforward. She doesn't lie. And when she does, no one catches her on it because she doesn't lie.
The perfect liar.
I mean, basically, she's so straightforward that she
It's amazing.
surprises the people who are charisma-based into telling the truth. You've told me this, Bo.
Yeah.
And can tell everyone that she casts Zone of Truth.
I mean, she has access to that spell. She's never
Oh.
used it, but she
Or
has
have
access to
I?
it.
Yeah, is Ruckus the smartest one in the group?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I
But
see
it's
how the
16
world
intelligence.
I see how the world operates, and I totally get it. But that's why I see this is all a game, and I can do whatever I want. Boulder time.
He has high intelligence, low wisdom. That's the thing.
That's that, you know, doing that math as that is traveling. Like, oh, if I put something in the middle of this boulder, it's going to stop the trajectory. Perfect. I will go and do that.
Yeah.
You can see the meme of him like with the movie with Zach Galifianakis at the craps table doing the calculations. in his
Yeah.
head.
I think one of the best ways of looking at it is, you know, intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing you don't put that into a fruit salad. Charisma is the ability to sell that fruit salad.
Left. Damn it.
And then somebody said salsa, and they said we found the bard.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Of course, I'm quoting a Tumblr post. I spend a lot of time on Tumblr.
That's still active.
Yes.
You beat me to it.
GeoCities, man, that's where it's at.
I found Ice Haven, by the way. Thanks, Hef. But it doesn't have the music was like the biggest draw of the site.
Oh my
but
God.
it had H.R. Geiger, it had Louis Royos, it had everyone up there still.
Nice. I went to my MySpace page, and my music
Oh
was
Jesus!
Oh my God.
my
Really?
music was gone. Yeah.
What?
I'm a little
Custom
terrified to
music.
go find my
I
MySpace page.
played it. I recorded it, and I put it up there.
Is there a contact us section that's doesn't work, or how
It's going to an email. I have no idea where it would go.
I mean, that is the nice thing about my email having been the same since I was 16.
I
That's a
couldn't
nice
make
thing about
mine.
Emails.
Not having my email from when I was younger.
I cannot. Yeah, I used to play the saxophone. I can't be sax player Aaron when I go for a job interview. Don't worry, it was on AOL. No one uses it anymore. No one uses
I'm
it.
still on Hotmail.
How
Like-
about this? How about this?
Oh.
Live journal. Live journal.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, go back
That
and
was one
check
of the
out
best
that.
communities, though.
Yeah.
My username, I had like 6, and like I had one that had like capital X, lowercase x, and then the name lowercase x, capital X.
Yeah.
Like I was a mess.
Old school.
Warren, how long have you been Urban Mask?
Funny story. So basically since AOL 2.0. So I was a huge Sailor Moon fan. When I'm
Oh.
picking my username, Tuxedo Mask, obviously taken.
Hey.
So I was like, Urban Masquerade, Urban. So I settled on Urban Mask. And I've kind of just stayed with it ever since then. urbanmask.aol is still the email. But I feel like it's aged very appropriately.
Sure.
Like the meaning has changed behind it, for sure. But I've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I guess it works because I view most of like online stuff as like a time capsule for like future generations and all my kids and whatever. So they can like keyword search Bing Urban Mask and be like, so this is what dad was into. What a fucking weirdo.
Oh God, I hope my kids never ever search up Vanilloswin. Ever. My AO3 account is attached to that.
Dude, like
I was a very angsty teenager. I am not going to reveal any of my, usernames from that. So we'll just leave
You
it
also
there.
delete your Facebook?
happiest day of my life when Facebook got rid of profiles, right? You could right click somebody and like go to their profile, basically their bio. It's like, the most emo glitter roses and stuff. Like, totally. Totes.
I'm trying to remember that. I was bad at using it at the beginning. I kind of set up pictures, and then I set up other pictures I regret sharing. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just get nothing that bad. It's mainly more me being awkward in like a chair or a bench or something. Not weird awkward. I got these fingers. There's a lot of pictures where I'm using these to their max photography capacity.
I mean, to be fair, I took awkward pictures on my porch earlier this week. Awkward does not have an age limit.
Aaron, I love the fact that you were blocked out of your Twitch account, so you had to log in as player 4.
Yep. Yeah. I'm working on that.
I'm out of mine. I'm on player 2.
Oh, and there is 2.
I'm on player 2. Yeah.
Welcome to behind the scenes.
Jeez.
Yep.
Where we're currently waiting replies.
Do we want to take any more questions from like earlier in the chat or anything like that, or are we completely devolved at this point?
I don't know. I think did we roll? Yeah, we didn't roll for the mug yet, did we?
I don't think
we didn't.
Last chance. Hashtag mug. Hashtag mug.
And you have to be here now too, so you've had to have stuck around for this nonsense for how long?
Sorry.
Have you gone mad?
Hashtag mug. Last chance. There it is. Oh, okay.
I see you, Warren.
I'm showing them how to do it. They might not know.
I mean, to be fair, this mug I got on the first or second episode of Natural One because they never gave me one for Christmas, and so I made a point of entering.
I stole Thomas's. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, what was it? Wow, what did we have? Oh, I gotta send Janine one. We gave Janine a mug when she was on, and then she left it.
Oh
No.
I'm not going to use this.
There it is. The Nordic Geek.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Sweet.
Oh, wait. He's in. Is he in there? He's got to be in there.
He's in there. He said sweet.
All right, there it is.
Sweet,
yes. Congratulations.
So, Bo, you should keep talking in the TED voice for a few minutes.
Okay. I guess I can do that if everyone's okay with it.
Could you possibly pick up that banjo to your right? And there's some sheet music laid out lazily in front of you, just by coincidence. Could you read that?
Okay, yeah.
It says
I
Rainbow
can't play the
Connection.
banjo, but I'll pick it up.
It's real easy. You'll figure it out.
Aaron, you played saxophone.
I did. Yeah. It's a little rusty.
Right? You can still do sexy saxophone guy?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been kicked out of many establishments for trying.
Okay, first off, if you can learn that song, I want to share
Careless Whisper
playing that song.
I will do that, but only if we spike my hair up like.
Do you have a saxophone in your house right now?
I have one. Okay, well, I didn't keep it, but I know where it is. It's with my parents currently, because why would I still play that right now?
You're a liar. It's in your house somewhere,
If I was here right now, I would be busting that out and squeaking the tune as terribly as I could.
Okay.
I don't have it.
I should go get my violin that is terribly out of tune.
I wish so bad I had it. It's in Napa.
In Napa? Oh my God.
With family.
I actually did Sexy Sax Man for a wedding once.
There a meme I'm missing?
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
Have you seen those friends since?
No, of course not. They asked me after the very first dance, after their first dance, interrupt that. The DJ was going to play Careless Whisper like over and over again. There's just that sax part. And I came out, in like suspenders. And I danced with the groom a bit. It was great. Danced on some tables. Didn't play saxophone. It was an inflatable sax, but yeah.
Oh, that's
Are there
awesome.
pictures of this?
Nope.
Damn.
That's a smirk that says he's lying. Yeah,
you're a liar, sir.
Everybody get him.
Right check on that.
Even I got that one.
Sorry to be so candid on stream.
That's what this stream is, though, buddy.
I missed it.
I'm currently 3 drinks in.
Down a Careless
14.
Whisper Sexy Sax Man YouTube hole. Sorry.
There you go.
I missed it.
That video was like 9 hours or something. Like, I mean, it's Just
What?
so yeah, just search YouTube sexy sax guy. It's like 9 hours of that.
It's honestly amazing to me which songs get like 10-hour remakes and things like that.
I feel like there's a 10-hour remake of anything you want on YouTube.
Probably.
I have accidentally stumbled on so many 10-hour loops. The Sanix theme song, that will blow out your speakers. Okay, I'll play it right now. You're all gonna hate it. No, don't worry. You'll hate it.
I put the Stranger Things loop on at work on our like TV.
That's enjoyable.
It's like it's good atmosphere noise and it's not distracting.
Have you heard the remix? I love the internet sometimes. Have you heard the Stranger Things remix with Redbone?
No.
It's
About C84.
Weirdly amazing. It's a weird.
Is that right?
Yeah, they combine basically those two things, and for some reason they just combine them just right.
That's awesome.
It mixes perfectly.
What do you think of his new album?
I loved it. I thought that was great. I wish it got more like popularity right now, or recognition. You know, I don't hear many people like talking about it. I'm not going. I haven't looked into it, but I've been enjoying it like crazy.
Yeah, I want to put it on the speakers, but he hasn't pressed it into vinyl yet, so I'm sitting here waiting.
Oh, so he can listen to it on vinyl while he French presses his coffee.
Okay, like that.
Oh my God! The Hefner says so. So the video is Epic Sax Guy, and it's 10 hours long, and he's made it all the way through.
Shit. You want to know
that before or after you came across QNC? Because there's other ways to spend 10 hours, mate.
There is a great video on YouTube that's 10 hours long. That's not a loop. And it's basically shot from the perspective of somebody in a chair on a flight. And like random coughs and like noises on a plane and stuff like that. And it's basically 10 hours. The YouTube video is just you staring straight ahead. I'm not entirely sure if it's 360 or not, but it might be because I think you can look around the plane.
You can find where the baby is crying.
I will find it.
I continued that sentence in my head and it went into dark places. Let's just keep moving.
Oh, that's a normal sentence. Babies cry on planes all the time. Jerry Seinfeld said it once.
Yeah. Let's just move past that train of thought.
Aaron makes a lot of Jerry Seinfeld references for someone.
For someone 10 years younger than me.
Like,
I got into very specific episodes of Seinfeld, and then I haven't seen it whole way through, but I've liked him from a distance.
I've never watched Seinfeld.
Oh, the episode where I don't know. Can we even talk about it? This even on Twitch, man. The episode where they all decide not to masturbate, and
I didn't see that one. Yeah, I had a strong family. I didn't see that one.
I've seen I grew up in New York. I've seen every single Seinfeld episode 18 times. Yeah, that's a good one. That is
Super
totally.
So the all of the men get super smart, and Elaine just dumber and dumber.
Kramer, oh yeah, Costanza becomes like a genius. But basically, Kramer's the first one out, and it's like after watching the neighbor across the street, like in exercise pants.
Yeah.
And he goes, so like in the time it takes for them to look at the person in the window, he disappears from the scene, and then he comes back through the door 5 minutes later, if that, and slams $100 on the table. He's like, "I'm out," and everyone's just like, "What?" Yeah,
it's a great episode.
Solid show.
I love the painting of
Solid
George.
show. Vandalay Industries, you were screaming that in the chat last night. Vandalay Industries.
You want to be my latex salesman?
Yeah, I'm very confused as well.
Yeah.
This guy gets it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
As I pointed out, I have nothing to contribute to these conversations.
I'm so close to watching Carnival Row.
Oh, I want
You
to
should
watch
do
that.
it. Oh, it's so good. So
Almost
good.
there.
I've watched one episode, and I really want to go back for more.
Yeah.
So I mean, just every frame of that show is a portrait. I mean, it is just so gorgeous. Orlando Bloom, fantastic. Cara Delevingne, very good. Yeah.
Orlando
It-
Bloom is very hit or miss for me. Like he went out of acting school straight into Lord of the Rings, and so he was surrounded by people like, I mean, Ian McKellen, for God's sake. And so he was surrounded by a world-class acting class. And sometimes I'm like, he does really good shit. And then sometimes I'm like, sir, what are you doing? That's
You like Three Musketeers? Come on.
He went out of acting school
Elizabethtown.
and in less than a year became the highest paid actor.
Yeah, because he went straight from acting school directly into Lord of the Rings. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200.
Well, not just Lord of the Rings, but Legolas. I mean, that is quite the character as well. You know?
Right. And that was like, I mean, I'm styling my hair a little bit like Legolas's today, specifically because it made such an impression on me when I was in my teens. But I'm also like, Orlando Bloom, you go from being a really good actor to what the hell are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
So he was in a movie called Elizabethtown,
which I just mentioned.
Decent movie. However, from that movie, he was blackballed in Hollywood as he will never be a leading man. And really up until Carnival Row did he actually do, leading man stuff. Basically the movie tanked so bad, they're like, yeah, he's not going to be our leading man.
Which is a damn shame.
Wow.
Yeah.
Liked him in Pirates. Really liked his work in Pirates.
But he was upstaged by Johnny Depp pretty much the whole time.
Well, I mean...
He wasn't the leading man, really. Not really.
No.
Johnny Depp...
I still liked his work. I think he did good.
Oh, he
was amazing.
He was he's in Pirates, he this is yours to fuck up, and he didn't fuck it up. It's not like he I had some major artistic epiphany watching his work. No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean that's more kind of a Depp thing, though, isn't it? Like he really goes there, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp
really
is a phenomenal actor. I own a lot of his pre-Pirates movies, and
my favorite actor.
Only one or two of them are unwatchable, like the Ninth Hour or whatever that was.
Yeah,
I could not stand that movie. But Benny and June and Edward Scissorhands are two of my favorite movies.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico, he stole that movie.
Oh, he did though,
and it wasn't even about him.
Sweeney Todd as well, though.
Sweeney Todd's magic.
It's your delights are catching fire from one man to the next.
The song that he's singing to his razors, I think,
My Friend,
that phenomenal work.
And then Helen Bonham Carter over his shoulder, essentially as one of the knives talking back to him. That was great.
So good.
Very well done.
My work here is done.
Is it?
So yes, there is truth to this. I bring up movies and I derail regular talk and send it into movie talk.
You do. You complain about it, but it's your fault. You start us there.
Yeah,
it's regular talk.
It's just like, it's throw the grenade in and just see what happens.
Yeah,
I jump on it. Let's go.
All right. Does anybody have any last minute thoughts?
Last minute thoughts. We got 20 more minutes. We're gonna talk about movies then.
All right. Okay.
Amazing.
So no movies, but
what?
Other
video games.
I've got Uranium Fever.
What are you guys playing? I'm playing a lot of League of Legends, The Division, and Apex Legends.
I am playing a lot of Mario Party with Kelly. We are ridiculously good at it. We have such strategy now. We have dialed it in. When you play two on the same team, so like two teams against each other, we play against the super hard. And the different dice the different characters have different dice, and the combinations matter. So we've just been dialing that in. We're taking it very seriously. We're playing way too much of it.
In order of time spent, I'm playing Adobe Premiere, Google Sheets, and Fallout 76.
Huh.
Ooh.
How do you like Fallout 76?
It's awful.
I've heard nothing good about
terrible.
it.
It's awful and terrible. The new Wastelanders thing is just so full of bugs. It's ridiculously terrible.
I'd rather play Wasteland. Why? I don't man, I get, so Fallout was one of those games that's oh, what's happening? Okay, cool. I get the concept. And it's I don't need to grind this. This sucks. I don't understand why people People spend hundreds of hours playing that game, and I don't understand it.
I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, so it is exactly like how I also play Asana, which is task management. It is I get a task, I go do the thing, I feel good. That's Fallout 76.
It's essentially rewarded.
Yeah.
Yes.
All gaming.
I was actually just given Portal 2 on Steam, so I'm probably going to start picking that up pretty soon.
You've never played that?
I've never played any of the Portal games, but I was given Portal 2 because the person who gave it to me was like, you know, Portal 1 was the experiment, but Portal 2 has all the story.
Gladys
So
is the perfect AI.
well, I mean, I know the story. I know the story of Caroline and a little bit of that because I mean, you can't be on the internet and not know that story. But also, I'm really excited about that.
There are certain times.
If you actually want my Steam, I'll give it to you.
There are certain characters in games and in movies that I just like get attached to and like infatuated with. And Gladys was like, I'm convinced Gladys is Satan. Like that is the opposite of God.
I mean, to be fair, the last time that I got really infatuated with a video game character was Alistair from Dragon Age Origins because he's precious and I love him.
It's the lyrium that does it.
Of course, it's the lyrium that does it. And swooping is bad. Don't you know? I love Alistair. I actually have considered going through Dragon Age Origins just to play that again.
I still have fantasies about cosplaying Sten, and all it would take.
Oh, do it!
All it would take is gray hair dye, and I can do it. Yeah.
I actually really want to cosplay Bethany Hawk from Dragon Age 2 when she's in the Grey Wardens. With the Grey Warden mage outfit. Oh, it's so pretty.
I liked it too. It's
a scaled tabard and a short jacket, and I love it. It's so pretty.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. That's the Master Monk dice tray right there. They have a Kickstarter going on right now.
Do they?
All right.
That's right. They're doing the Oracle dice boxes, which are these cool little 7 and 10 dice boxes that will actually fit in this travel box tray. They're pretty awesome looking. They're on Kickstarter. And I talked to TJ today.
Ooh, how's he doing?
He is quarantined as we all are.
Yeah.
It was a good chat. We actually talked a lot more off camera than we did on camera. So
I mean, as you do.
We're discussing some things, some box of inspiration things. So things to come.
I just noticed Bo's shirt.
Suck it to me.
That's all I've got to add.
What is...
I love sake. It's good stuff.
I haven't had sake in a very long time.
Aaron, tell us about how you got started in Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Or role-playing games.
Specifically Pathfinder. I started with that like a year. Like I think me and a group of friends would meet up like once a month, and it was for Pathfinder, and just to make it the worst for the DM. We were it was our goal to make this a job for him, and he loved it. We really cut out some work. I think I've explained like one story off camera, and can I say semen on stream? Even though I just did it.
We've said far worse things on this stream, mate.
I'm gonna double check. Yeah,
It's where it's the yeah. That's what's inside a submarine.
You didn't expect me to go there after you asked.
I think you have to say everything. You're just by principle not allowed to say semen anymore, so you have to come up with new names, right? I would call it like hot human protein. Or jizz.
I mean,
but you can't use the same one again.
The joke is what's long and hard and full of semen, and the answer is a
submarine. A submarine. Hey. I have a friend who works on submarines, so yes.
And what a wonderful life.
Anyway, so Aaron,
Yeah, I
Finish the story.
Pathfinder's where I started, like 2 years before joining Quest and Chaos. That was really what drove me, because I really liked doing that, but we kind of dwindled out, and I really liked having that environment. That was really fun to just mess around in this game. I was just as good as the rules then as I am now. So just understand that.
I was going to ask you for Pathfinder advice, because I'm starting the campaign tomorrow, but you're not the person to ask.
This isn't your first time playing D&D?
This is my first time playing D&D.
It explains so much, doesn't it?
That's why I'm training before I got a DM. But yeah, my favorite story coming out of that Pathfinder was the fact that I, as a ruckus-ish character, we killed the dragon, and right before it died, we got a gallon of its leftover white protein, viscous protein, and I mean, no one there was also buying my crap, so I guess I should learn at some point. But anyway, I had some guards were coming, and I was mind controlled, and I stabbed a friend to death pretty immediately. Not my volition, mind controlled. Anyway, and to panic, I was like, I bet if they think I'm sick, they won't think I did it. So I drank the entire gallon, and to think maybe I could make them think I was sick. Because why would this dude have stabbed this other dude and just be sick right next to him?
You could have had the same effect as rubbing it on.
To throw up into the bucket and go, I just threw this up.
Get away from me. Shaking a gallon.
You didn't have to ingest it. I feel like you could have covered yourself in it. It had the same effect. They would have just stayed away.
The story of my life. There were many different doors to take.
And you took the worst possible one.
I'm so happy about my door.
They
guys.
just see you drinking liquid. They have no idea what it is.
They can't incarcerate me for this.
This is a good idea. It's working.
Yeah, I woke up immediately without all my stuff.
So Tiana, Pathfinder, are you playing Pathfinder 2 or just regular Pathfinder?
We're playing the original Pathfinder, and I'm actually coming full circle, hilariously, because my very first experience with tabletop role-playing games was with Pathfinder with my friends Dane and his girlfriend at the time, Leslie. And we played a 2-player game with a DM, and I'll never forget Elsbeth. My half-elf paladin who clove people in half with a greatsword. She was fun. So that was my very first experience. We played a couple of sessions. I played a couple sessions of D&D 4E, hated it. And that was my entire D&D tabletop RPG experience until I moved into a house in Hercules with 3 other geeks. And like, even before we got all the furniture in, we were planning a D&D game. And it was in my memories today on Facebook that today, 2 years ago, we finished our first campaign.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, we finished at 7th level and called on a god to deal with a dark sorcerer. It was great. But yeah, I didn't really get into tabletop role-playing games until 2.5 years ago, 2 3/4 years ago, something like that. And I did what I always do. I did a deep dive into things that I get obsessed with. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Pathfinder. I have no idea how Dane is going to handle it with me and Jeannie. He doesn't like doing 2-player campaigns because it's hard to balance. It's hard to make the campaigns without, killing off your players. I look forward to how he handles this challenge.
Nice.
Best of luck.
I feel like I'm gonna have to kill somebody in Carbon so you guys respect the situation that you're in a little bit more.
I want you to keep killing repeatedly my characters.
All the different modiums?
Yeah, I want to come back endlessly and just die every second.
I planned on them running into you at these different places because I felt like they were just gonna kill you.
That's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call some people on them. I'm gonna get a team on this. I thought it was the cops. I didn't pay attention fully, and then I was like, oh,
oops. No, because we would all hesitate to kill someone who looks like our friend, even if we think that friend betrayed us. Because Deja's first impulse is, what the fuck? Why the fuck? And then realize this one had nothing to do with it and go, oh, okay, fine. I can't kill you because you're another Monium.
Do it.
He's,
Kill me.
Another Monium.
yeah,
Kill
he's a scooter. He's a toaster.
That's Moniumist.
But he's a toaster who has stuck with us. So he has some semblance of cognizant thought because we're not his owners, but he's stuck with us.
That is an amazing like adventure that this Monium is on, right? Found these guys like trying to break into the
Internet cafe.
Now I'm breaking into buildings with them and gang members.
Can this Monium's night shift end soon? So he's like, all right, I'll trade out with another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, yeah, I'd imagine that the shelf life on this Monium, because they're so cheap, is like not great.
Probably. I'm just looking forward to when we get our real Monium back, if we ever get our real Monium back, and finding out who Bo's character is in this.
It will happen at some point. At some point.
Whenever that is.
I'm looking in the wrong direction for the grid. It's up here, actually.
We are the Chaos Agents.
Cyber
I'm looking at the wall.
Cyber Ted. Yeah.
It is going to be Cyber
the other
Ted,
way, damn.
100%.
Wait, what is that?
Everybody's, yeah, it's like,
all humans.
oh god.
We should do a Brady
Wait,
Bunch thing where you look around.
I finally figured out which way to look. Bo's up in this corner.
Hi. See, I'm sitting here in front of the big screen, so you might notice my eyes like looking all over the screen. That's because that's where you guys are.
Yeah, I'm looking at my computer screen, but then I look down at the stream on my phone, which is sitting on here, just so I can see where you guys are.
I think you'll get this one, Bo. It's like the Naruto meme with the Sharingan, where they say when you're trying to watch Japanese and the subtitles at the same time, and their eyes are just bouncing all over the screen.
Back
For
to
sure.
the Tiana and Aaron question.
Mer?
D&D has been on the periphery of my life since I was like a teenager, right? I'm playing in fantasy chats and doing the email stuff, playing Magic and like playing EverQuest, but like I never ever played D&D because no one in my ecosystem in Queens played D&D or was let alone involved in fantasy of any kind. So long story short, if there's a kid in your periphery who hasn't been exposed to D&D, he or she is just looking for an entry. Like invite them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are so many people that are like, I really want to play D&D, but there's no one to play with. It's like everybody wants to play D&D. Nobody wants to run it. That's the problem.
And that's a real problem, isn't it? Because with the reason why I'm running the Underdark campaign in Rasmori is because the person who has been the DM since, I mean, as long as I've been a part of it and longer still, was like,
I want to play too.
he's like, I'm new to being a player. I want to play, and
Yeah.
I'm a baby doctor in Belgium where there's all of the Corona shit going on. I don't want to have to prepare stuff. Someone else do this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have an idea. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Can't fathom
And,
that type of schedule.
So I mean, and there's also it's a scary thing to DM.
It is.
I mean, you think you're going to not do it right. And while, I mean, there are things that, like my home game DM that I'm sort of annoyed with, right? But it's also, I'm still getting enough out of it where it's like, okay, yeah. So there are some roles that he makes that I feel like I should be rolling. Okay. But the overall story is great and I'm having a lot of fun. So, it's like trade-offs. So you can DM wrong. I'll say that. But it's still, people are going to have a good time. There's that huge hurdle of oh my God, am I going to do this? So, I say just, go out there, DM. If you've been a player and you know how to play, say you're going to DM. People will be like, oh my God, you're starting a game up?
Yeah.
I want to get involved.
And one of the biggest things that I've learned with the international group is be open to hearing what could be better. Open to criticism, I guess, but that sounds really awful. because I have people who've been playing for so long and I'm still a new DM, I can be like, hey guys, if I'm doing something that makes it difficult for you to play or difficult for you to engage, tell me. I want to fix it. I want to be the better DM. Please tell me. And if you're open like that with your players, where you're like, hey, I'm new, I'm gonna fuck up, they are usually more than willing to meet you halfway. And even if there are things that annoy them, they'll be like, oh, they're new, and be like, hey, maybe fix this or see what happens.
I'm God at the DM table. What I say is canon.
Yeah, okay. I will still argue
sure?
that minigun with you.
Actually, me and Thomas has gotten some clarity on that. You're right about no specification, but the consensus was the minigun has such a high rate of fire that it's like ridiculous to fire one bullet at a time.
It's broken, but it's broken in the book, and
it's broken based on the assumption that people know how the minigun works, right? Like I feel like they didn't add the extra sentence because they're like, people know.
If you do not add that extra sentence in
Fair.
spells, in abilities, in any of that, if it is not rules as written, then you can make the strong argument that it's not as written.
Agreed on that.
So I mean, if they don't clarify, then you have then rules is written.
Then you have a chance. You have standing in court. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean,
however, the DM still rules. I'm just saying.
And like I said to Warren off stream, I will abide by the DM's decision. I disagree with it, but I abide by the DM's decision.
That's right, a Panthro. F you all. It's my game. That's the way the DM should run it. Hell yeah.
The minigun is such a weird thing because, like, me reading it, I know exactly what it says.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if it can spray a whole bunch of bullets in one go, and it can do that 30 times per barrel, that's like a massive barrel.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
No,
it is a massive barrel.
That's what the rules say.
It can spray the entirety of its barrel once. You have 30 shots.
No.
You have 30 shots, but you can choose to use it as a spray, which is the spray thing in the mechanics.
I think
the minigun doesn't work without spraying.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah, it does. It says
no one goes.
It says 30 shots. And it would not say 30 shots if you could not do 30 individual shots, like it does in every other game, in every other thing. 2 shots for the shotgun before you have to reload.
It's worded in the way that it has enough ammunition to shoot 30 times.
Yes.
So they don't actually tell you how much ammunition is in it.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you 30 shots. And so I would hold that you can spray once and then reload with the keg, or you shoot 30 individual times. And it's like a throwing dagger where it's like it has the thrown
so you're hanging up on like the finesse versatility sort of thing where it's like spray is one of the options. I'm seeing it as spray is the only option.
Not a must.
I'm seeing it as the only option.
This should be a show. I think we get like, it's called rule lawyers, and you have one person as the judge, and you guys make your arguments.
Well, so we're going to reach out. We're actually going to reach out to the creator of Carbon 2185 to get him on the Untitled podcast. And
ask that question. Please ask that question for me.
We'll see. I mean, it's amazing. So we've got people lined up for this podcast interview show that is taking off. So like I just said, we just interviewed TJ. We interviewed Renal Botten, the writer of Exalted Veils.
So, side note, I did order 5 Carbon books. I'm waiting for that fulfillment because I do want to give them away on stream.
Nice.
I've wanted to do this. So if you interview him before I get my books, Thomas, you got to ask him where those books are.
They have more books in stock right now, so they should be coming to you, right? I'd reach out.
All right, we'll do.
So it is 9:56. This only went a couple hours longer than I thought it would. So
did you really not think that we could fill all 3 hours? Because buddy, I have news for you.
We should totally
I'm
do rules lawyer and do it.
Yeah.
Judge Judy said, dun dun dun. On this side, we have dun dun dun.
Absolutely.
Now, why did you cheat on her?
In our original sort of pitch document for the channel, that is one of the shows. It was I wanted to build a courtroom set.
Do it.
So
Lawyer.
good.
Can we do that for the characters that like have caused many atrocities in Waterdeep?
Ruckus.
Listen, they were dead when I got there, except for the breathing part.
Judge Amy. Yeah.
Judge Amy,
Amy.
yes.
I like it.
Convince Amy. You can convince anyone.
That's
If
awesome.
she can make as much money as Judge Judy, I am all for this. He's like
Did
the
we
highest
just stumble upon
woman
gold
in
here?
television.
I think we did.
Yeah, I would watch that show. Yeah, 100%.
We should open a bar. Sorry.
All right. That's did we
We could do an appellate court where you get 3 judges at times. Come on.
You can call in the creators as witnesses and other people who played.
Oh.
But I want to see someone try to convince a court in Waterdeep that Uzo threw that woman out of the window.
I
don't
still
think we have
want
any
to
evidence.
knows that.
No evidence.
I still want the Foxy Irregulars to find out about that because no one has.
I mean, that's you know what that period of time in Waterdeep, there were a lot of bodies showing up, and so I
Mainly
mean,
our fault.
what that woman remembers. So if they did speak with Dad, they have no idea who threw her overboard, but they do know the group of people that they were being followed by.
Well, and that
I thought she fell into ash, right?
she got
No?
thrown into
Oh,
ash.
I think the other guy got
Oh, burned.
Ash.
I forget.
Yeah.
We always forget. Classic us. Killing sprees.
Well,
Uzo can threaten the dead.
so does somebody
Keep
want
your
to
mouth
read
shut.
Tamagotoro's line there? Because I like it.
I like it. This is good. We should do that.
Steadfast buys out Fruits Brews and turns it into a high horse dispensary.
Right around the corner from us, we need a dispensary with how Remy goes through herb.
Paula
Adjacent to
might
that.
have.
Sorry, did somebody say herb? Sorry.
I hate to tell you this, Remy, but I'm pretty sure your herb on the ship is dead at this point, unless someone was watering it while we were gone.
Shit.
No, it might be dry. You can revive it. I don't think
We'll have
it's
to see.
dead. Dude,
We'll have to
I've
find
got
out.
herb that have stayed for like a month.
It's only been a couple of days. It's
Yeah.
only been off the ship for 3 days, less than a day.
Pro
2 days.
tip:
It's been about 4 days at this point, but yeah.
you've got some stale dry herb. Throw in like an orange peel or a banana peel in a Ziploc. It'll puff it back up with moisture.
Well, yes,
What?
but this is living herb. It was growing in Andraste's greenhouse of a
It's
cabin.
only been 3 days. It's
Same.
fine.
4. It's been
It's fine.
4,
It's fine.
and it'll be like 2 or 3 more before they get to us.
Someone invent a Ziploc bag.
You have it. It's called the bag of holding.
Yes, I have it. It's called a
Yeah.
bag of holding.
I need my bomb. I need to remember to ask Remy for a thing about that wand related to spider things that I need to get.
Aaron,
And
You do not get that bomb. I will never give you that bomb.
I need you to just
I
remember.
need it.
You do not.
Whenever we get into situations, just start throwing animals out before we engage initiative, please. Just remember to do that. Just
Have I
start
not
throwing them
been?
out. No.
At least
Um,
50% of the time I've been.
So
Good
that
gentle.
bomb was pretty powerful when you got 40 episodes ago.
No, you do not.
It's true.
You don't update patch this and nerf my bomb. I haven't even touched it. That's why I've saved it.
It's true though. We got it off of that thing when we were 5th level.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, hey,
We're like
here,
double
take
it
this
now.
2d8.
I mean, that's as good as some of the spells that Andraste still uses.
I just rolled
Yeah,
one.
it is. So it's 2d8 in a 5 feet of a space. Every
Throw it
creature.
good.
What
Throw it
about
real
inside of
good.
a body? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So Thomas, when are we going to be level 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bored
just
with
got
this
level
level 9 shit.
Look, we spent so long at level 5, Remy.
No, I know exactly where you'll be level 10. And it could be soon, or it could take you guys a while. But I know where you will be level 10. I know where you will be level 11.
And
I know where you'll be level 12.
If Aaron makes it that far.
That's the truth.
I die to live again.
As long as I have a diamond. Okay, Ruckus, this is your mission. Your mission is to make sure that I always have a diamond. I have at least 500 GP.
Aaron's got it. Ruckus forgot.
Tamago Tora asked a question, I think, in the chat where he was saying, how many times do you think Ruckus is going to die before? How many more times is he going to die before the end of this? I think there's just going to be one more time.
Well, and the question is, die or go unconscious? Because those are different.
I think die.
Oh, die. Yeah, no, I'm not planning on dying again.
Maybe once.
I don't plan on dying again.
Okay, so I think I know where it would happen as well.
Uh-oh.
That's terrifying, Thomas.
I like it. I appreciate it.
I will say that Uzo has seen it. That's all I will say.
What?
Everybody's keeping
probably in a vision.
In a vision, yeah.
Ooh, so Wormwood is coming out with these high variance dice. They're total bullshit. Don't believe any of it. But so what they do,
unless you're here, Wormwood, thank you for watching us.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for the sponsorship.
Go support Master Monk. Anyway,
there you go.
So there's the 2 and the 3 have been replaced by 1s, so it's 1 1 1. And then the 19 or the 18 and 19 have been replaced by 20s. Basically what they do is they take out the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and move things over. So it's very low or very high. Total game breaking, especially for people who like crit on a 19, where you have 20, 20, 20, 19, 19, 18, 18. You have a 25% chance of critting every single time you play. But it might be fun for death saves.
Yeah, it's the same thing for death.
Thomas, we have very different definitions of fun. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, death saves are just 50-50, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was our discussion. It's like just flip a coin, at that point. But,
yeah. I mean, well, but if you have a lot of 20s, there's the possibility that they might come up with 1 HP.
Right. Oh, you're back in the game. How great is that? Or that saves and you're dead.
How great is that?
That's a word.
A death token. We could just go to a death token instead of a
token.
I mean, we certainly have access to flippable coins, and we can put whatever we want on them.
Oh, it smells like Aaron.
Thanks. We need to talk.
That's our cue. Good night, everybody.
Good night, internet friends.
Aaron, are you wearing lipstick?
Uses this dice box.
Why does everyone ask me that?
Because you chew your lips a lot, so your lips are all red.
Oh, that's definitely it. Actually.
Oh, it's just blood.
No, that's a realization.
I watch you chew your lips. I know that's why they're chapped in red.
They're beautifully chapped.
I actually am wearing lipstick, unlike usual.
All right, so if I hit video, we'll play the the video Warren made. But I want to go home, so I'm going to go to the end screen. All right, thank you guys for sticking with us through this. It's been Dasner, perhaps Daz Wonder, Dasner. They commented, this has been fun and a great break, and I have to agree.
Same.
This has been an amazing time sitting here with you guys, talking to watching some of this chat. I want to go back and read it some more, but answering your guys' question, being here with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Everybody's awesome. It's Oprah.
Who is he talking to?
You're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome.
So be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us here on Twitch. You've probably already been subscribed by Panthrope or the Hefner or so many of our fabulous people. We're over on the Discord. You can chat with us there. Some days I actually don't open it up, and I am sorry about that. I try
Boy, aren't you?
have it open because
there's so
suddenly
much
I'm
to
like,
catch
oh, I
up
want to
on,
answer
man.
this thing from 3 days ago. But it's all a stream of consciousness, and it's already down at the end. Specifically because I wanted to talk about the Hefner's YouTube recommendations, but we can't do that here. It's in the Discord, so go over there.
I love you guys. It's been really good hanging out with you.
Absolutely.
Same.
Thank you for joining.
Same, but different. Same.
Same.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go. So thank you guys, and good night. Take care of yourself and stay safe.
Please do. Please.